Last we left off, the time had come. The hour had finally struck midnight in the City of the Dead. In the bottommost ritual chamber of the Raven's Eyrie was suddenly a flurry of activity. You all gathered at the ready for some form of attack by the Harbingers and the Revenant Vow, and they did make an entrance. To the ceiling, a beholder lowered into the room, followed by Raymond Boralis, the Harbinger of Famine. A bloody battle ensued as Quinn awaited the right moment to try and pass through to the next and final step of his journey. Unfortunately for you, a simple but effective slow spell hampered the majority of your party, limiting your combat prowess and gave the enemy several opportunities to deal significant damage to your group before a scene began to play out on the space, on the fractured wall before you in this chamber. The hanging death of a tiefling woman depicted in this horrid scene or memory. As it faded, the unseen thus far throatier managed to pass through this fractal barrier and appear on the mirrored side of the gateway, one step closer to the final seal. As this happened, the beholder had suffered several hefty blows and was bleeding out with Hondo hanging on top of its eye stalks, and it moved away from the platform and the archway, giving Quinn a chance to step atop, and at which point he was encased in this shadow, and another scene began to play out. This time, the shadow of the room began to coalesce and form in these kind of faint tableaus, depicting a scene of Quinn finding the name of the Raven's chosen sacrifice, which you all came to find was his sister Celine. And then you saw the scene play out of his ultimate decision to lie and take her place, knowing now his secret to bear, his failure, and his crisis of faith, before he too passed through to the other side. But the battle on your side raged on. The ebbs and flows of fate rolled back and forth between your demise and your victory, and ultimately, beyond your control, beyond the battle before you, as your enemies seemed incredibly close to victory, a pale light cascaded out and surrounded you all. The room went white, and for a moment a sense of dread overcame you as it felt perhaps it was over when you were too late. But the light faded, and the vow were nowhere to be seen. In the archway, restored and radiant, you saw the angel of death and Quinn before her. She spoke and confirmed you had succeeded, but that your fight was not over, and that she would see you again before fading away once more. The wall now returns to bare stone, and the room falls silent and dark. We begin tonight's game. As I say, it is incredibly quiet, and there is no light in this room. The fractured wall is back to blank stone. No shadows remain in the room, everything seeming to have kind of pulled back up into the ceiling with the blast of light. And really all you can see now is a hole in the ceiling that leads out into an equally pitch black sky above. So what do you do?
Oh my God.
Everyone okay?
I'm really hurt, but I think I'm okay. Holy shit, did we do it? Did we actually do it?
I think so.
Barely. That was way too fucking close.
I went back and forth on if we'd actually live tonight several times. I didn't want to tell you guys, but it was looking pretty bad for a while.
A lot of us came close.
Hondo, are you okay? I saw you go down at one point. You all right, pal?
I'm okay. I admit I thought we were all dead, and this is the afterlife, but it looks like we're okay.
If you and I are in the same place, it ain't the afterlife, pal.
That's what I was thinking.
That's a good point. I don't want to go to your boring afterlife.
Holy shit. Kyle, you mentioned the portal to that other room, is that closed now? Like the wall is back to normal?
Yep. You can see the faint outline of the archway as you saw it when you first arrived in the city, and there was like a faint kind of line in the stone, but there's no light. There's no in the last hour it seemed to have turned into this kind of mirror fractured window. It is now back to cold, hard, impassable stone with just a faint line of now where the archway would be.
Can I cast 3rd level Cure Wounds on Valentine?
Oh, sure. Great.
Nope.
What are you doing? Are you about to attack me?
Oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? We were just almost through hell and back and all of that other shit. I don't have what I need to do this. 1 second.
Do you need some
Yeah, I do.
3d8s. 3d8 plus 5 for that.
Oh, for me to really concentrate, I need you to pay me a compliment. It's how the spell works.
That's okay. You did really well in that fight. You stuck
6,
to
7. It's working. Keep going. 6, 7, and 5. Damn. Plus 5. So 10, 6 plus 7, 13. So 23.
Oh my god, so much math just flying at me.
Damn, that was good.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Are they all gone, or is it just out of this room? I don't. If I look up, Kyle, is it still
True.
magical darkness up there? Can I see the hole that the beholder would have came through?
Yeah, you can see it's difficult to exactly make out, though there is, I suppose, there would be moonlight kind of hitting the rim on the one side, kind of faintly coming down into this kind of tunnel, and it's almost a perfectly cylindrical tunnel carved away by what you can assume now would be the disintegration ray of the beholder. Yeah, you can see it there.
Okay. Maybe we should go up and make sure this place is clear, but also see if any of if Quinn's people survived. You guys okay with that? Stick together as a group?
Yeah, we shouldn't go far.
Man.
You guys heading back up the stairs, just out the normal path, not trying to fly up the hole or anything?
I got nothing. I think it's just a normal path.
Sure.
It's still stationary if it's not caved in.
You didn't, in the battle, you didn't hear anything come from that direction. Everything seemed to be a surprise attack from above. But you all pull yourselves together, somewhat healed, and begin making this kind of slow march of it's an odd feeling of victory, but there's just a mild emptiness to it. But you nonetheless continue to climb up the stairs, retreading the same pathway that you've done several times in the last couple of days. And Hondo, Gord, Valentine, you being the most perceptive of the group, sounds surprisingly quiet. It's almost unsettlingly quiet.
Is it still night? It still feels like night. Oh, it is night. We can see.
Yeah, you could see up through the hole. It was still a dark night sky with the faint moonlight. As you kind of make your way up this initial stairs through the catacombs still are lit by the blue torches on the walls. Those seem to never dim and never go out. But as you make your way back up from the catacombs into the actual temple, through the kind of mouth structure of the face statue, you can see 3 bodies in this room. Hondo, Valentine, and Gord being again the most perceptive.
I was gonna say our bodies.
They look to be wearing monk vestments, robes. You without you can further investigate, but at a quick glance, it looks as if they are some of Quinn's crew, some of the Valor. You kind of push out a little further out of the actual temple and onto a just scorched battlefield. This entire island is now clear of fog and clear of smoke. There's some faint burning pools that seem like pitch or tar, and several others that glisten in the moonlight that look like large puddles of blood, or potentially other things. But it is a vast swath of death. Bodies of both sides lay in just tableaus of death of a war that quickly came and now has passed. All of you, even the least perceptive, do notice that beyond the flames flickering across the smoldering kind of war-torn face of the island, towards the city, which is kind of as you exit the temple, you face the larger portion of the city facing east. And above the city, kind of the light of the stern of the dreadnought is kind of glowing and just kind of lighting up the tops of some of the buildings and the ruins. And just as you guys kind of crest up and out, you watch the back of the dreadnought, the stern, these two areas glow brighter and brighter, and it illuminates the entirety of Casterion, almost out to where you're standing, before with a crack and a thum, the ship just is no longer there.
At least he got out okay.
He didn't even check on us?
I think maybe he knows we got out if he witnessed whatever happened here. I'm going to, Kyle, if you're cool with it, I just rolled a bunch of heals. A second level for Hondo, a second level for Gordon.
Cure wounds.
Second level for Brawley, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hondo, 11. Gordo, 13. Brawley, 15.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Just as you're going through your motions, just walking up the stairs, just kind of as people pass, with a faint muttering under the breath and a faint response from Gord that you didn't expect.
We will not share in the chat what he said.
Gord quietly complaining that though he has twice as many hit points as anyone else on the field, that you should ever heal.
Nonetheless, your healing is accepted to these three. And for the time, you stand all now on the kind of main level of the island, surrounded by death, knowing that Gambino and his crew, what's left of them anyways, taking off to somewhere. And it is eerily quiet. You also do not hear any sounds or signs of undead, so that's a big bonus.
Do you guys want to... I'll look back at that. Oh, I wonder if it's still standing. There was that one watchtower. Is it still standing?
It's not some. I guess it's a watchtower. It was like a lighthouse.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. That's on the far end of the island, the opposite end of the island.
Where was it that we stayed last time?
You guys stayed in the kind of one of the towers of the temple itself on the northwest corner of the tower.
Oh, we could do that instead. Do you want to do that?
We're not underground, are we still?
You guys are now out in the open air.
So I'm gonna do a perception, an investigation, just to see if there's any signs of life around.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
And then I will do something else.
I was expecting something more boastful. Not like a primal scream, yeah.
All right.
Really good.
Okay.
18 plus investigation is 11. So 29.
You begin kind of just looking through and sifting through the swaths of bodies around, and you can see there are several of the warforged that are fallen and cleaved. You can see there are now, as you kind of make your way through, kind of getting out beyond the crumbled now walls of stone that Lavender had crafted the day previous. Several are fallen in and broken through the fray. On the other side, and now piled up on up onto the sides of the island, almost like World War Z style. You just see just a swath of undead forms having just clawed over one another, trying to make their way onto the island, and they are just piled on the ramp up to the island. They do not look like they are even close to living, and they do look, as you would recognize, undead. Unfortunately, as you kind of quickly glance through, no one here survived this.
I'm just gonna walk out a bit and yell, "If anyone is there, show yourself now!" Now!
It rings out and echoes off of the stone.
Valentine will just lean on Mary as he does this.
Take a very long, deep breath.
We're good.
Seems like there's no response.
Oh, shit.
I think that's actually the best outcome considering the shape we're in.
Wonder if, just looking around at all these up bodies, I wonder if devils leave ghosts when they die. Or, I guess they're not all devils. Tomorrow night there's going to be a hell of a lot more zombies around.
So let's get out.
I like the sound of that.
And let's also reanimate a few of these zombies. We could have like a zombie army.
I just look at Gord and look back at Hondo. You've been talking to him too much, Hondo.
We could do like 1,000 and they just like throw them to be slaughtered as they attack us.
Man, all I want to do is sleep right now. Let's just sleep and then figure out our zombie army.
You definitely overestimate your power of reanimation.
Does not surprise me with Hondo.
Hondo needs to steal the black staff, and then he can make a shit ton of
Yeah,
zombies.
buddy, that was your move.
You want the wand of Orcus or the black staff? Maybe.
He just becomes evil.
Yeah, look what it did to
What do you mean
Raymond.
becomes?
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
leans in.
Okay, well, let's try to get some rest. This is... Shit, I can't believe we didn't have a single monk left.
I can't believe we're still standing. Let's go back to where we spent last night, up on that tower.
It's doable.
Yeah, we should... I know we're all exhausted, but... And it's probably overkill, but we should still probably do a watch.
I have exhaustion level 2 for keeping track.
Well, maybe you just go to sleep then.
I could do a watch, maybe
No.
last watch.
No, you can just go to sleep.
I'll do first watch. I'm ready.
Are we sticking with the patented Lavender and Hondo watch?
I would say, I'm trying to think. Yeah, definitely Valentine can't take a watch. If anyone has exhaustion points, you cannot take a watch.
You fall
otherwise
asleep.
risking further exhaustion.
Does Hondo have exhaustion?
I don't even. Where would I see that?
It would
It'd be
in
under
your top
conditions. I thought you did.
Oh shit! Actually, I think I have a level of exhaustion too
And I think some people did.
Where's
because of the black staff.
would have been
Mhm.
Under conditions, so right under your hit points,
Huh? Oh,
it says defenses and conditions.
nothing.
Okay, and you're fine.
Surprise, surprise, Hondo.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Well, we'd need 3 watches, so people would have to be spread out.
You can
Watches
do
alone?
single watches. You don't have to double up like you guys normally do as well. Like it can just be a single
That might
person.
be smart.
A single watch?
We, like maybe Gord takes one, Hondo takes one, and you would probably take one if that would make you feel better.
Yeah, I'm not very... I can't see in the dark very far.
You also draw a lot when you're supposed to be watching things.
If Lav has to take a watch, I say we get like a couple zombies with her just to be safe.
Where are you getting these zombies?
There's a bunch of dead ones.
Lord can bring up like 10 or something.
Didn't he already do that today?
Gord burst into flame multiple times today. I don't know if he's got this like libido that you think he does.
Oh, I've seen him go all night, man. He's
I don't
got
want to talk about that. I remember that night very well.
I think I'm fine, thanks.
Okie dokie. So, you all make your way through the temple and once more pass the 3 figures of the Valar monks that are, you can see like now as you're kind of passing it and paying a little bit more attention, like they were pulled back and they have sustained deadly wounds and are well beyond simple healing. They're certainly beyond. But they fought with everything they had, and there's some solace in that, but also a little bit of guilt.
Can I move them?
I was going to help with that. I don't even know if I have the strength to try and do that, but I would at least try and fold their arms, try and give them some dignity.
I'd like to put them in front of the, like, I know there's a tunnel there now, but like in front of where the Raven Queen altar thing was.
Sure, like leading down to the path below.
Yeah, it looked like the part that's where probably people would probably worship anyway.
Yep. It was basically the path is like right under the altar.
Yeah.
So yeah, off to the side a little bit so you could still make your way down if you had to. But
Yeah.
Hondo, you
Easy
gonna
enough.
give thanks to the Raven Queen or Neavir for tonight's events?
I thank them.
Okay, that was as unceremonious as I expected.
Nonetheless, you guys make your way, and it takes a little bit of time for you guys to set the Valar where you want them, as taking care to set them down gently and position them as best you think is warranted, before making your way up into the northwest tower of the Raven's Eyrie. And there is a couple of like cots and bedrolls and things set up here where you know that some of these Valar have used as sleeping quarters as well. And then there's a hatch that leads to the kind of open tower top for whoever wants to take the watch or watches. But the rest of you are able to sleep. So who's on first watch?
I can do it. Or Hondo.
We can do it.
Well, Hondo did already say that he was going to take first one.
I know, I just didn't remember who had actually said that. I feel like everyone said that. Whoever's taking first watch, make a
Hondo, get
perception
some
check.
rest.
No. I'll be okay. I'm ready.
He's such a gentleman.
Yeah, I'll read the room. Okay.
Whoever's on it.
We'll take last rest.
check.
You'll take last rest? You want to go next?
No last.
I will curl up with my cloak, and just as soon as I lie down, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. I bet. Go
A
ahead, Kev.
long time to get to sleep.
So on my rest, I will take time to just be like, Raven Queen and Neavir, I'll thank you both in one go. I'm alive. Everyone else here is alive.
Because you don't have enough time.
Being one piece. We seem to have all our weapons and our cognitive abilities with us, so I thank you very much.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You just kind of up on top of the tower, looking out over the city of the dead and over the plains beyond, the moonlight slowly moving overhead. You think that something out there heard you.
And then for the rest of the watch, I'm gonna like get a couple like zombie bodies and I'm gonna like pin them to the wall and I'm just gonna start shadow boxing them.
Okay.
Not noisy at all for the rest of us.
It definitely jostles and wakes up people as you drag several bodies up through the stairway.
Hondo, around the corner.
Yeah, do it downstairs, not up here.
Go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage. Yeah, that's about right.
Oh wait, I'll roll again anyway, I guess.
Yeah, get a 1 instead.
the 1.
First one was a 2 and a 7.
Mhm.
And my perception check is 12. So
Wow. Jesus.
Still pretty good, but you are more focused on your acts than actually keeping watch. Though thankfully, several hours pass, and it seems like for the most part, the worst that was going to happen in the city of the dead has come and passed. So thankfully, a quiet remainder of the evening, as it's already well into midnight. You guys actually only really have to make 2 watches before you get to morning.
Huh.
So Hondo, a couple of hours to get through the first part of the watch, and you're able to rest. And who do you wake up for a second watch?
I go to Brawley and I'll be like, Brawley, it's all yours. And don't worry, there are no zombies. I killed the ones on the wall. You're good to go.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Hondo.
What did you leave me?
What, isn't Lav asleep?
Aren't we doing that together? Gord's
You
going last?
and Brawley were gonna, yeah. So she might have stirred when you woke
Okay.
Brawley.
They're probably sleeping close by.
I wanted last watch, but apparently not.
I'll break Lav. There'll always be a couple of zombies there for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Less than thrilled. The 2 of you, I suppose, if you want, are up for this last leg of watching here. And I'm not even going to have you roll perception. It is quiet as the time passes. And you both still just kind of wanting a little bit more sleep. And there will be rest in the days ahead, but it's been a long one. But the 2 of you, nonetheless, take your watch.
did you draw anything fun lately? I mean, before everything went down.
Did I have any fun lately?
Did you draw anything?
Did you draw anything?
Oh. Well, I was seeing some very weird things, and I mean, that's normal. I'm usually very active thinking, but I think that my mom might be alive somewhere.
Really?
So I drew this. And I show her what it looks like. It looks so pretty, but I don't know.
So you
This
think
looks
she's
crazy.
here? This is insane. Do you think you know? So you think you know where she is?
Well, I've been asking so many questions to everybody, and they say that Valentine guy. You know him?
Yeah, I'm familiar
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
been saying things like, "Oh, there's a chaotic plane, maybe," and like all these things. And I'm thinking, like, that's not Estev at all, you know? And it seemed too real just to be a dream.
If your mom's there, we gotta find a way to get there. We gotta get you there.
Have you ever been on a chaotic plane?
I have never been on anything other than this chaotic plane. Well, and a couple of the other ones we went to, but I like to forget them sometimes. We gotta
think this
find it,
looks
though.
pretty nice.
It is
Okay.
really nice. You're such a good artist.
Oh my god, thank you.
welcome.
Look at this one. It's like just like a full spread of Hondo.
Ah!
Sorry, not that one, not that one, not that one. I turn it and it's a picture of her and her sister. I did this for you a while ago, so you can have it. I rip it out and I
Really?
fold it up and I give it to her.
I just kind of.
On the back of that page, there's a picture of me and her.
Do I see it? I guess I will. I'll flip it over.
Do you? I don't know.
I'll treasure it always. And she just kind of takes it and rolls it up and sticks it in her armor.
What about you? Anything new?
No. Nothing really, honestly. I don't have a cool hobby like you do.
Oh my god, that's not true. Your beautiful hobby is like just being a beautiful angel. Do you think that you're going to want to go back to your home after all of this?
I don't know. I mean, I do want to go visit my sister again, but at the same time, I just met you guys, or I just met her, and I've known you guys, I feel like, forever. I don't really want to leave you guys just yet.
So how does this thing work? Like, we do the fight, we conquered the bad guys, those big bad guys, and then everybody just sticks together?
That's what I'm hoping will happen. Honestly, can you keep a secret?
Yeah.
I really hope we all just keep fighting forever together.
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
Right?
Oh my god.
So that's what I'm hoping
Oh my
will
god.
happen.
Maybe with or without Hondo. Like forever though. That's a long time to spend with that guy.
Who knows? He might be the perfect pirate leader we need to sail us on some ship. We
The
might
floppy
acquire one
trout
day.
or salmon or whatever.
It was something like that. Some
Cool.
sort of like dead fish.
I would really like that too.
Mm-hmm. Aww. And then I'll just kind of pet Keith and
You
I'll
pet
just
Keith.
start drawing Keith.
You draw Keith, and both of you recognize that Keith himself is pretty wounded from the fight.
Oh, Keith.
He,
oh no.
he will rest and recuperate the same as any of you, but there's just a stark reminder, Alana, that Keith put himself between a lot of danger to protect you and to protect Valentine. And it's just another reminder of your bond with your mount.
I'm just gonna kind of grab his face and just go, I promise I'm not gonna let you get into anything like that ever again. You were this close, okay? If we ever get to something like that ever again, which I hope we don't, I'm gonna have to ask you to make a run for it, okay?
His eyes are kind of just focusing ever so slightly. He's still kind of unconscious and sleepy, but you hear just like a faint grunt of affirmation.
I love you, sweet boy.
So sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to try to color match his hair so I can get this drawing right. And I go very close to his hair and I'm just looking at it. But while I'm touching him, I cast first level Cure Wounds.
There's a light, just faint light and warmth that rushes through, and Keith kind of does this kind of like shuffle. His whole body kind of just shakes as he kind of shivers as the healing rushes through him, and he recuperates a little bit of health.
Thank you so much, love. Do you feel better, boy?
But a relatively short amount of time later, while you two are still on your watch, the sun begins to rise. And it's still rather cold, despite being on this kind of southern portion of the realm. It's a cold morning, and you actually see, as the sun kind of rises, just the faint kind of a couple of like snowflakes just like kind of drifting across the city and across the tower as the two of you are sitting there with Keith, and the sun slowly rises. It's still early, but there is no cause for concern in this city this day. And with that, you're all going to level up to level 15. Except for Lavender, who's level 13. And we're going to take a quick break and run through all the particulars of leveling up, but we'll come back and tell you what all happened, and we'll do some hit points and all that jazz now.
Send all your fan art at Hexplorers DnD.
That's all Scott has ever wanted.
Hexplorers DnD, send it.
Back. So, everyone has now officially leveled up to 15, with the exception of Lavender, who's 13. And kind of running around the table, Alana took her next level in Fighter, getting Indomitable. Valentine continued down the Bardic track, picked up a pretty powerful spell. Lavender is continuing the Sorcerer path and is going to find some new little elements to come along that will come along relatively quickly as soon as I finish talking, I'm sure. Hondo is continuing his rogue training and becoming reliably talented. Gord is also continuing down the Warlock path, gaining a 8th level Mystic Arcanum, as well as Invocation and some other coolness. And Mary is taking an ASI in her Fighter path and gaining the feat Observant. But we still haven't rolled hit points, so everyone can go ahead and roll your hit points. So one hit die, it should automatically have already added your Constitution modifier in D&D Beyond. So go ahead and roll whatever your hit die is. Should be a D8 for the most part, with the exception of Mary and Allie, who are D10s.
Come on, D8.
And Lavender, I think, is a D6.
Yeah, look at Sorcerer. I think.
Lav
Look at
is
your
a
hit points.
D6.
Where would it show it?
Your hit die should be in, if you go to click short rest, I think it'll show you.
Oh.
But it should be a D8 for you, for Valentine, and for Gord.
Should I take that out?
Or D8s.
Don't I remember these?
It's a 9, yeah.
Okay,
One
D8, here I go.
Just one D8 for you, Brock. Just straight. Oh, full 8 for
attaboy.
Kev.
Holy.
I rolled a 2. Is that a reroll or a keep?
Only
it?
ones.
Oh
Two
my
is a
god.
keep.
Fuck me.
I got a 6.
Gord got a 6.
Will I ever? Oh no, 72.
I think you'll beat over 100 now.
I am, but just by 2 points.
So a 6?
Yeah, roll a 6. Reroll a 1.
Yeah.
9.
6, baby.
What is that? I quit this game.
Lavender's up 6 there. Mary at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I think
Allie?
that's what Allie got too.
I also got 9, yeah.
Damn. So fuck you,
Bitches.
Valentine. Everyone else rolled almost max.
what did Gord get?
A 6.
Fuck off.
So you add that to your HP at the top of your, if you go into edit or manage levels, at the top, top right is manage HP. Just put that number into your rolled HP, hit apply, and it already applies your con mod. So you should come out of there with whatever you're at now.
I got 100 right on.
Ooh.
Only
Gord?
100 after
I
rolling
have one
100?
question. After the long rest, I still have a bunch of hit die like slots filled. Is that normal?
So you should get back. Hold on, I gotta look that up.
You get back half of your total, right?
Okay.
So, if you only rolled 4, half of your total is more than 4, so you get them all back. But we basically
everyone is only gonna. Basically, I'm pretty sure everyone burned through all they had, so you would have half hit dice at this point.
Okay.
Mary should be clear of her level of exhaustion. Val, you still have 1. You clear 1 for the long rest, but you still have 1. I can't remember if any of the rest of you had it, but it would get cleared if... I don't think anyone had more than 1. So it kind of comes out in the wash anyways. Everything is clear. And as we get back into the game proper, Lavender and Alana, you both kind of finish out your watch and rest as you kind of all come to realize that the area is safe, and especially seeing as you had gone to sleep so late as a result of the combat carrying so late, that you rest a little later into the day than is normal for people who wake up by the rising set of the sun. But nonetheless, you awaken at the middle area or on top of this tower, the Raven's Eyrie, the southern tip almost of Vesaria. Refreshed, renewed, ready for adventure.
Oh my god, I haven't felt this good in I don't even know how long.
I feel like I could have had a better sleep, but I feel good.
Any weird dreams?
No, thank God. No more dreams.
That's a good sign, at least.
Oh, why is there a smell of death beneath us? As if someone's been pummeling corpses all night.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm strong because of that.
I guess so. Guys, what do you want to do now? We can do whatever we want. I mean, we know we got to come back here at the next full moon, but we got to wax and wane from then, so we can kind of do what we want here.
Where can we go?
I remember when, I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but do you remember what Sirius, that like representative of the Raven Queen, said? She said something like, you guys did it. You were like patrons. Your people will be proud of you. I don't know. I just personally feel stronger after that fight, after that night's rest. I think we could go anywhere we want. I feel like my abilities could transport us.
You think we could go anywhere?
Within reason. At least someplace we visited before. I'd be willing to try and get us there with magic. Here's my pitch right off the top. Before I was going to bed, I was thinking, we'd barely survive this, the 6 of us. With Quinn and his people, none of them survived, tragically. But if we do this again in how many weeks? Yeah, we got to do it one more time, maybe more. We got to make sure these forces of hell are defeated for good. But we need help. We need to unite the realm here. So I think that should be on our agenda moving forward. Maybe Allie visiting your family, Alana visiting your family, Mary maybe going back to Arendelle, talking to the royal family, the Delarians. We could talk to my stepdad, and see about uniting maybe the Vale Elves. I just feel like we need to put a coalition together.
Yeah, we're gonna need more help next time, that's for sure.
Hondo, obviously we'd visit your homeworld, talk to your people. I'm sure there's just a plethora of them ready to eat us.
We don't need to go there.
Okay, let's just put that to rest then. Mary, what do you think? You're stoically looking out over the barren landscape.
I mean, I agree with you. I think we have potentially some loose ends to tie up, but we cannot do that alone again. We got fucking lucky that Gambino didn't decide to murder us all or, stab us in the back before any of that shit went down. Because if we did not have that firepower, we would not fucking be here. And we can't let ourselves get stuck like that again.
Is that guy good to come back?
Yeah. think all of them will. But so will we.
Yeah, let's not make it super close again next time.
I agree.
Or at least maybe we come back with something else under our belts. I mean, we have a couple of these that tap my armor. We could probably use a couple more.
We had a lead on a couple of them. You know, we could always go back to the Platinum Sanctuary. We talked about bringing Damascus there, if that's something we want to revisit.
I think it's worth talking to Uth and touching in with Damascus. I mean, I don't know what order, but at least letting Uth know what happened here too, right? Like he knows more about any of this shit than any of us do. We need to keep him informed.
I want to see him kick the shit out of Hondo again too.
I'm ready this time.
Yeah, I bet you are. There was another thing I was going to mention. Damascus, he's from Osmed, is it?
Marrakesh, Osmet, yeah.
That's it, Marrakesh. He's from Marrakesh. And if we wanted to go there to try and convince them to help in a fight that they've really had no stake in, aside from, I mean, if the material plane does become the 10th layer of hell, it's going to affect everyone. But that's an in there we could try and use. Damascus knows more about it than I think any of us here.
Talk to the council in Arendelle too. I mean, I guarantee they have some kind of contacts. They'd see at least what kind of terms they're on with them, so we know what we're walking into. Admittedly, yes, Damascus is going to know that area better than any of us, considering, well, I don't know about all of you, but I've never been.
Never.
But he was there 10 years ago, 12 years ago, so we don't know if his contacts remain steady.
That's a good point. Guys, we bought a house, sight unseen, before it was finished.
I mean, we were given a house.
We were given a house to keep. Well, maybe we should check it out, see if it's still there, see if those guards we hired stuck around.
I guarantee that they did not stick around. You paid them for like a week.
Well, you know, I can backfill them. We got some cash now. We also have a ship. Hondo, I don't know if your ship's still in port. Hopefully the parking fees on that guy aren't too expensive.
You think I pay parking fees?
I think I'm the guy who pays your parking fees.
Last you knew of your ship, of the Black Parade, it was being repaired after the battle in Arendelle, in which it was used as
That's right.
Part of like using the cannons to hold back fire on encroaching figures on the water in the King's Bay.
Wow, that feels like years ago, because it was.
It literally was.
I mean, I know the keeper of the King's Bay. I think we could get a bit of a pass on that one. But if, I mean, we have Neavir business there too.
That's what's really drawing my heart back to Arendelle. And I'm sure you want to see your city. You haven't been back in forever.
It's been a long time. Should we... None of us have any way of reaching out to any of the people in, I can't remember the name of that elven city.
Endora?
Yes. Do we? I mean, because they might want to know what's on their doorstep. We also sent a message via Raven to the rest of the Valar, letting them know what's happened. I mean, maybe if we can get some information or a visit or something out to Endora, they can reach out to the Valar and let them know that none of their people survived.
I think I did mention in that letter, like, if you're reading this, we won. And if you're not reading this, it means we're all dead. So, I don't know. Hopefully that inclines them to send a group. But I think you're right. We do need to get contact with them because this is their place and they're going to want to help the next time. We could also, I was thinking about this. Did you guys see that vision? Or is that just me when, I don't know if Quinn somehow activated it when he went in that chamber, but he like took the place of Celine and sacrificed himself instead of her. I was thinking of maybe trying to scry on her and see where she is. Maybe we'll try and get in contact with her.
I did make him a promise that we'd try to find her.
Which brings me to one more thing. the other vision. There was a tiefling woman being lynched. It's very horrific, but a baby witnessing it. And if I'm putting things together, that could have been Throatier's vision. That could have been Throatier as a child witnessing that. And I think,
that I did not see.
no? Was that just me? Did I witness?
I was unconscious.
Oh, yeah. You were night. Yeah, it was horrific, but the more we know about these people, the better. I think that'd be worth exploring. There was this moment in the fight that Egoth said, for Baltor, something like that. He shouted out, what was it?
Batur.
Batur?
Bator.
He shouted out that name. I don't know if it's a place, a person, a thing.
You can make a Arcana check.
But let me think about it. And see how I do. So I have exhaustion. Do I have a disadvantage on this?
You do. Thank you for remembering. Disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay, dice gods are nice to me. So 12 plus 12 is 24.
Yeah, that would be just over, just enough that in the heat of the battle and in the build up to it, the phrase didn't matter. With a little bit of time and time to, as you're kind of now talking about it, the memory of what the actual word means and thinking about the word itself. Bator is the true name of the 9 hells. The 9 hells of Bator, or Bator. Each layer has its own name, but collectively they are Bator. Or Bator, however you want to say it. I say Bator.
Now that I reflect on it, do you remember when I was chatting up that do you remember when we were in that like hellish casino and I was chatting up that like attractive young woman?
It turned out to be a very large,
grotesque
interesting
monster.
Yep.
Glance at Brawley, glance back. I think they mentioned Bator as another name for the 9 hells, like the true name. They mentioned a lot of things, but I think that part is true. We got some time here too, if there's anything personal that anyone wants to do. I know we joked, Hannah, that you never want to go back to your people, which I totally respect, but if anyone has something they really need to do, this would be the time.
I feel like we should go back to Arendelle.
I like that.
Before we continue, just out of game, but in game, if I can have Valentine, Gord, and Hondo. Yeah, Valentine, Gord, and Hondo make nature checks for me. And Allie. I think that would fit for Allie as well. Okay.
And that is, let's see.
That's so cool.
17
Gord,
for
go.
Gord.
I just love being able to see it
13.
now. It's so cool, Gord. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
13 for Allie.
Yeah.
Hondo, what was your total?
9.
Okay.
I was just reading to see if that thing is factored in, that like jack of all trades. You can add your proficiency bonus or add any
It's
ability.
already added into your
Perfect.
your number.
So I got 13.
That is a disadvantage.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was the disadvantage.
Okay. I would say in that case then, Gord, as these guys are talking about the kind of timelines and knowing that there is a timeline to when you have to be back here and you're planning on all these different adventures and things you need to accomplish, you do a quick calculation in your head, and being one who has traveled the seas and utilized lunar cycles and the stars for travel and time, basically telling time, and being connected to the arcane arts and all that, you know that you guys have roughly 6 weeks until the next full moon. And you can choose to share that if you wish, or keep it yourself. The rest of you, unfortunately, do not pick up on the exact timeline, though you have an idea that it's probably not tomorrow. You have a couple of weeks at least, but the actual time the rest of you are not aware of that, unless Gord shares. But do continue.
Look at Gord for a moment, just admiring his helmet.
More admiring yourself in the reflection.
That's true.
Bit accurate.
Is it close to Winter's Crest?
There's no Winter's Crest here. There
Wait, is it close to the
a Deep Winter's
holiday?
Day.
Deep Winter's Day? Is it close to that?
Yeah, it's about 5 days away.
Ooh.
D&D Christmas.
Yeah, Winter's Crest, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's a D&D thing. I think that's a Critical Role Matt Mercer thing.
Is Deep Winter's Day a D&D thing?
I think I pulled Deep Winter or something to that effect. I might have just altered it slightly, but there is essentially like a midwinter festival that I have called Deep Winter's Day. But there is in pretty much everywhere. There's a midwinter or a solstice type festival celebrated in different ways by different cultures and religions.
Guys, we're celebrating Deep Winter's Day. I hope you're ready for it. 5 days. You better get your gifts ready.
Couple of days.
Gifts. What is
I've
that?
never celebrated a Deep Winter's Day. What
Yeah.
do you do?
That's
Yeah,
the
what is that?
thing.
Every year, my family and I would celebrate. So extravagant. You guys never celebrated Deep Winter's Day?
I never had a family.
I didn't have a
You live
calendar.
down south. It's not even winter there ever.
Mary, what was that?
I said I didn't have a calendar.
Hondo, you celebrated, right? Deep Winter's Day? Oh, guys. Gord, you celebrated Deep Winter's Day, right?
What does that even mean? What are you celebrating?
Okay, Deep Winter's Day
Word
is like,
stoic silence is the response.
like at the winter solstice, one of the shortest days of the year. We all celebrate that now the days are going to get longer, and it's like that cozy like winter time. So we buy each other gifts to feel thanks and to spread like merriment. We did it all the time in Verdansia. Guys, we should do it within all of us. Maybe like a secret Deep Winter's Day
Like
gift exchange.
like exchange presents.
yeah.
So
Well,
it's like a day of birth celebration, but for everyone. And winter?
that is correct. It's like a day of birth celebration for winter. But
Now
more,
here's like Leah out of game trying to figure out how we can draw names by rolling dice.
we got to
Roll a
do that.
d6. Just roll a d6.
Roll a d6. Yeah, but you got to make sure that everyone actually gets someone else.
Yeah, I do.
No
that.
one. Yeah, that's true.
You guys want to? Let's do it. We'll all get gifts for each other in 5 days. I think.
I don't think I have enough money to get gifts for
Oh, no,
everybody.
you don't have to buy a gift. You can make a gift.
Oh, I can make a gift?
Yeah. you
Or
can- or
let's do what we call
oh,
the secret bard. It's
what's
where
that?
you draw names in the hat and you
Yeah.
get a gift for that person, and they never know who it is from.
Do they ever find out ever?
Never.
They never find out.
Never.
I mean, if it smells like lavender, we're all gonna know it's from you.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
yeah.
if it smells like shit, it's probably from Hondo. Because you smell.
That was cruel for the morning. My God.
Just
Talk of
kidding,
Deep
Hondo.
Winter's Day here. This is a lovely celebration of love and family.
Hondo, I love the idea of secret bard. I don't know how secret we'll be able to keep it after the fact, but I think we should try. I'm going to write all of our names down in my book, and then I'm going to tear up the names, and I'm going to put them in the hood of my cloak. And then we're going to draw names and then keep it a secret. Okay?
So you can't tell anybody.
You can't tell anybody.
What if you don't know what to get the person?
Then maybe you tell someone in confidence when you're like having a
You just broke the rules. You stupid.
we make
You
the
can't
rules.
tell anybody.
Okay, Jesus, you can't tell anybody. Ready? I'm gonna write all your names down. Hey, Arendale's a great city, by the way. We have some walking around change. If you want money, party money's for everyone. So we'll go to Arendale if you want to do some shopping, or you can make a gift. I see you drawing in your book over there, Lavender.
Okay, so
I write 'em down.
Yeah, you quickly write them down. You tear them apart into small bits, roll them, fold them, and put them into the hood. What hood? I missed that part.
Just the hood of my
Just a hood.
Montebank cloak or something like
We
that.
also have the hat of disguise that looks like a Robin Hood hat.
That's cute. We should do that.
As you guys all kind of gather around atop this tower, still surrounded by death and
Very wild cards.
just the sight of the fourth seal binding the gates of hell shut, let's draw a Secret Santa.
Yay! I love secret gifts.
Okay, let's start with Allie. Roll a
Can I
d6
ask-
for me. Oh,
Can
sorry,
I
go
ask a
ahead.
question?
D6?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, our fridge is so loud. Should I guess I'll have to. I was like, should we know as players who
Well, how
got
are you?
That is
I'm gonna
so
message
funny.
you privately.
You can message us privately.
Yeah, I'm gonna message everyone privately who you
I
get.
love it.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I'm
of
so
course.
excited.
That would be totally defeat the purpose.
Well, I make character wouldn't know, but yeah, this is way better. This is way better.
Okay, hold on.
Let me give it some water.
Okay, Allie, would
I
you roll
rolled
for
a 3.
a 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do the messaging afterwards.
Okay.
So let's go to Lavender.
What are we supposed to roll?
Roll a
D6.
Roll a d6. So Valentine swings the hat in your direction. Oops. That's fine.
I'm so excited for this. Oh my god.
Val, you're going to be last because you were holding the hat.
Sure.
Hondo, we'll go to you next.
This
So
was
roll a d6. So roll a d6 on your dice roller. Roll again. Roll again.
Oh no.
Gonna be
Come
tough.
on.
Roll
Roll
again.
again, baby. Come on, baby.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cool.
Let's go to Medi.
Do you want to separate it now? 3 people have gone, right?
I rolled
No.
a 5. I don't think anyone's got a 5 yet.
5 is fine. I was going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 5 is fine.
Gord.
Gord, in this case, just roll a d4 for me because there's only 2 left.
Oh, he rolled a 4.
We
Perfect.
just spoiled
I
it.
rolled a d6
Oh,
though.
sorry.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Sorry.
4 was still available. Okay. And Valentine, you take the last remaining name, which was a 1. I'll message everyone
Later.
We can continue with the game for now. It'll take a little bit of time for me to message each of you individually who you got, but
I
let's
giddily
continue.
glance around the circle very, very excitedly.
As you all now have your names and you can begin thinking of it momentarily, where are we going? Or what are we doing?
Well, guys, I'd really like to take a couple minutes to try and get my sweet boy Fern back. I haven't seen him in weeks, maybe a couple days. Feels like weeks. And then I'd love to try and get us to Arendelle if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I say, okay, so Arendelle would be choice number 1. I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw out a little spinner at you.
Full spice, sure.
What if we go to another dimension and see if we can get a ship like Gambino?
My guy, I would love to do that at some point. I don't know what dimension, where we find one of those, what we would be fighting to steal one of those, but I love this idea and I really want to do it at some point.
I just feel like he landed in a random dimension and was just lucky enough to get it. So I say we just randomly pick one and go.
Hate that idea a lot. So
Admittedly, Hondo, Arendelle, I mean, they have the College of Whitethorn. There's lots of fancy magic people there. It might be a good place to ask
Yeah.
if they've heard of where other airships are.
Well, I'm going to definitely 100% do that, and I'm going to get my ring for once now.
oh my god, what ring? Did you buy a ring?
No, remember my ring so I can talk to people in any language? I've been looking everywhere for this ring, and they keep
Yeah.
saying, we don't have magic stores here, sorry.
Oh my god.
No, that's true.
Like,
You might have to
Laugh
place
has
a
that
special
spell?
order, but tongues? No, she doesn't have tongues.
Oh, comprehend. You want to be able to talk.
Comprehend.
I apologize.
Ooh, can I send your Michael with a note to Arendelle's magic store saying, please get this ring ready?
We will 100% get there before Jamaica does. We are on
Certainly.
the opposite end of the continent.
Jamaica will take literally a month to get there. You guys could get there in a couple of seconds.
Never mind.
I respect it. Let me do some quick math here. If we take Keith, yeah, we can do it.
And we don't want to go to the Cal Desert again, do we?
We might.
No, I freaking hate that place.
You did not have a good time there, but we
Go to
might
the
want to go
Platinum
to.
Sanctuary. You would
That's
be
it.
technically to the Kel, but you can teleport directly to.
We don't ever actually have to go outside.
I would like to go out once in a while.
I'll wait to get Fern back when we get to Arendelle. I don't want to bring him back in such a shitty place. So I'm going to try
Should we go to Arendelle first, or should we stop off at Platinum Sanctuary first, check in with Ooth, and then go to Arendelle? Like, we can do it in a couple hours. I just think it wouldn't hurt to get him caught up and to make sure that that place is still okay. We have no way to get in touch with him.
I was so amped to go to Arendelle first.
Well, I mean, as much as, yes, I 100% would love to put in my city, we can still do that. That's fine. Just another option, that's all.
What do you guys want to do? Check on our boy Ooth, then go to Arendelle, or go to Arendelle first and some point vamp over?
I'm just thinking if we're in Arendelle, it might be more than a couple hours thing. It might be a day or so. So if we're going to do something that's short and quick, we may as well do that first. That was my thought.
Ooth will be waiting for us. Let's go.
Let's just go to Arendelle. Are you cool with that, Mary?
That's fine. We might need to try to find a way to check in with him sooner than later. That's all.
I'd be happy to even just go to Arendelle, talk to some people, and then bamf there, and hopefully bamf back if we find another teleportation circle. I will put out my hands and ask you all to hold them. Oh, Lavender, will you take my hand, please?
I'm gonna take
My hand, please.
Mary and Raleigh's hand.
Okay. Scroll. Let me learn this spell in D&D Beyond.
Wait, have you done this before? We don't have a circle there.
I told you I want to try something. I feel stronger.
Okay.
You guys trust me?
Sure.
Too late!
You cast teleport?
I don't even... Yeah, I cast teleport.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Can I tell you where?
Yeah, I don't see it in your character.
I know I didn't add it yet. I wanted to say it before I did it.
Oh, why?
Teleport. Teleport. Learn. Done.
Sorry, I'm still just like messaging people their Deep Winter's Day.
I didn't even know you did it.
Yeah.
Me neither.
It feels like it's such a generic message that it feels like it actually came from one of those apps.
No.
Did you get yours?
I haven't done Amanda's yet.
I don't know where I'm looking.
I went to message you on Facebook and it said it would like go straight to your Instagram. So
Oh yeah, do that.
sure. I didn't know if you would check that. So I will do it there though.
If you want to follow great Instagram, Hexplorers DnD at Instagram.com. We're available on all the social channels.
Brock, I Snapchatted you your answer.
We are not on Snapchat. It's a private messaging app.
And Amanda, you've drawn.
I love that we turned our DM from like master of all evil
Murder.
from one episode to
Elf on a shelf.
Secret Santa elf.
Elfster, as Amanda and our families use.
You guys gave me an extra week to plan all the murder, so now I've got it out of my system. And now I can fuck around with Secret Santa.
Now you can think how to make this murder, which will be
Exactly.
fun. You got yours?
Everyone buys cursed items.
Yay! Ooh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone has who your secret Deep Winter's Day victim is. Valentine has everyone grasp hands atop this strange tower surrounded by death, and you cast teleport.
I want to teleport us to a place I've been.
Mm-hmm.
I want to teleport us to Mary's secret basement Batcave.
Okay. So you are not teleporting to. I want to look at this not like this. This is a pain in the ass. You're not. So I need you to roll a percentile die for me. I know that much.
We have so much stuff from my basement though.
But you didn't use any of it.
Oh,
So
like me. I'm from my basement.
That's not how that works. So the spell instantly transport you and up to 8 willing creatures. So that's, fine. Must be known to you, must be on the same plane of existence as you. Your familiarity with the destination determines whether you arrive there successfully. You roll a D100 and consult the table. You are, I would say you're very familiar, right?
I've been there a couple
You're
times.
familiar.
We slept there a couple times because we were scared about other stuff finding us, and it's the safest place in my house.
So very familiar is a place you've been very often, a place you have carefully studied, or a place you can see when you cast the spell. Seen casually somewhere you've been more than once, but with which you aren't very familiar. I kind of put you more in that category. But we'll see.
I mean, almost anything in Arendelle kind of falls into that category, to be honest. Like, you never used to live there.
Yeah,
So.
Val didn't spend a ton of time there. You guys did battle there, but not... It's not like you guys stayed there for a month and found that you guys were in there for a couple of days, then fucked off to go do adventures and stuff, came back.
Hey, home there.
You've only slept in it once.
Ready?
Roll your percentile.
94.
Oh, 94?
94, yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Tight.
Good for you.
A 94 with any of these is a good
It's good.
roll.
It's either good or bad. Those
Yeah.
high ones are either good or
Super-
bad.
High for teleportation, good. Low,
Not
woo.
Thank
Someone's
God.
getting splanched.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to that.
Legit.
So,
So,
you know how I know that? Harry Potter.
That's right, baby.
as all of you hold hands, and some of you with just the faintest hint of just not trusting what is about to happen, but the rest of you with confidence in Valentine's confidence. You close your eyes briefly, and you feel the familiar rush of wind and the tightening around your stomach, and that kind of drop you feel as you're pulled from one place to another. And as you open your eyes, you are colder than you were when you teleported. Though there is no snow, it's very dark. But Mary, this is a very familiar place to you. The scent of old oil and leather and sweat, definitely sweat, and the faint kind of perpetual singeing of smoke that's kind of embedded into the fabric and wood of your Batman style cave.
Except
beneath
way
your home.
smaller.
Except way smaller and not equipped with anything cool, but like a workbench and a bunch of like workout equipment and a bed.
and a cot, yeah.
Yeah.
For flavor, I picture like rose petals circling us, like magical ones, that then when the spell's cast, they just kind of like flutter down and dissolve into nothingness.
Yeah, just like little snowdrops as they touch the ground, just kind of melts away. And yeah, it's not a beautiful sight, except for Mary.
Did I
This
did
is
I
the
kill
nicest part of my house.
Did I kill us? I've never done that before without a circle.
No?
I still got all my parts. Whew.
I'll go light some candles. It's really dark in here.
Do you guys know where we are? Well, have you never been here before?
No, it looks like a nice place, though.
You say that about every place we go to.
No, but this place is actually really nice.
It's pretty dank, but
Admittedly, it's far nicer than upstairs. I never did end up fixing a hole in the roof.
This is Mary's house.
Mary, this is your house?
Yeah, this is... Oh,
Shit.
man, it's fucking freezing in here.
It's very
it is
cool.
very cold. There seems to be kind of a perpetual draft, and you can hear kind of the sound of running water from beneath, as if you are kind of right over top of a sewer of some kind. And it doesn't smell super great, but it is 4 walls, and you can see as Mary begins lighting some small candles and faint kind of torches and a lantern. It's a small space, but obvious signs of use and careful decision making in the placement of the objects within. You do see, as I said, a cot, a couple of kind of training dummies that have been beaten to hell. There's a work table covered in kind of now relatively dusty and molding kind of bits and pieces of things and tools. And you do see a small stairway up to a hatch in the one corner. But this is the basement lair of Mary's home in Arendelle. in Xander. The exact opposite side of the realm that you just hopped through.
Can I
That's so much better.
At some point, once we talk, I don't know how long this would take or how this would work. I would hope to get the hat back from Hondo if I knew we were going to Arendelle.
Okay.
Because I just want to
Awesome.
kind of look like my old self just for a little bit.
Okay.
With the hat of disguise. Like, it's just a lot to walk back into your hometown very shiny. And I don't really want to draw attention just yet.
That's exactly how I want to walk into my hometown.
Is the hat attuned?
It is.
Okay. In that case, the decision to come to Arendelle was relatively quick. So I
Okay.
would honestly say you are not attuned to it, but nothing's stopping you guys from taking an hour.
I
to
know,
just
but it's
chill.
an hour.
I want to get Fern back and we can have some breakfast. It's all right.
Yeah, that's fair. Upstairs has... Oh, God. I don't really want to know what state the kitchen's in, but we can check.
I hope you took out the garbage. Let's go look.
Okay. You guys kind of begin to just kind of fan out around Mary's home as you make your way up into the main level. Mary, you can describe what your house looks like, keeping in mind that you've not been here for 2 months and it was last kind of destroyed in a war. But
There was a hole in the roof and it never got fixed.
I will point out the roof is fixed.
Hey, someone loves me. Someone took care of it for me. That's very nice.
The roof has been fixed. The interior is still not touched. Like, your stuff is still scattered as it was, but you can see there was what seems like the beginnings of tidying and cleaning, and then a super stop of just like they got 2 feet into it and were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Yeah. no.
And stopped. But the roof looks new.
Oh, good. Yeah, like downstairs is very organized. Everything is like very much in its place. Every little like, piece of tool, every tool, every arrow is like perfectly lined up. Upstairs is a fucking shit show because she did not spend very much time up here. So there's like, picture like the tiniest cottage you could think of, like a 1-room cottage with a little loft that has just a shitty hay bed and blankets with a bed that never got made. And literally like 1 chair, maybe a table that was probably broken 3 years ago, and like a shitty ass counter. That's kind of it.
And Mary, as you're kind of walking around the space too and kind of reminiscing and looking about your space, and you notice the new roof, and you notice the beginnings of cleaning, and you kind of begin to move towards this kind of kitchenette area you have. On the counter, you see a small burlap kind of sack. Not large, maybe like the size of like a small grape or a large grapefruit maybe. It's tied off with a little cinch, and you tentatively step towards it. You can see there's a piece of parchment, and it's sitting on top of this piece of parchment. And as you kind of look over it, you can see the writing. It's familiar to you. It's flourishing text, though now having gathered dust and a little bit of weathering. It says, "Welcome home, -A."
That's nice.
What is that? Is that a head?
I don't know.
Is that a human head someone gifted you?
It'd be a very small human head. Just because she's paranoid and she hasn't been here this long. Writing looks exactly like it should.
Make an investigation check.
These are better now.
It's going to be a glyph that murders you. You're going to read it?
23. That's low for me.
It's as expected
Yay, okay.
for the writing of one. You.
Yeah, I'll just pocket it for now. And try to
The
open it.
note or the bag.
Both.
You're not going to open it?
Oh, there's a lot of people staring at me.
As you pick it up, you can tell what it is.
Okay, well then yes, I'll open
So
it.
as you kind of lift it up, you can feel small beans within, seemingly and by this quick scent, as you kind of move it around, this is some good smelling coffee bean.
Oh,
It's better than a head.
oh my god. It's been so long since we've had a really good coffee. I'm making coffee.
Yes. Let's just have a nice long breakfast. Let's relax. We just survived a fucking hell army. Guys, we fought a beholder. Is anyone even processing what we just did?
Is anybody gonna know what we did, or are we just gonna walk into a town and they're gonna be like, "Who are these guys?"
You think I'm not going to tell everyone we see what just happened?
I'm going to be bringing so many ladies back to this house. It's going to be
No, you have your own room in your own house. Not this house. This is my house. And there's one bed and there's no privacy. So
That's never
technically
stopped
two
them
beds.
before.
It's never stopped him.
there's technically, yeah. There's
You
the basement.
you have your own room. It could be a brothel, whatever you'd like.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
your keep sits on the outskirts of town. From here, it's probably like an hour and a half to like get out to. But
This is like the complete opposite end of town, though. Like
Yeah, this is like
I live in
the-
like the shittiest part of town.
yeah, this is a small cottage-style home, just not great, but
perfect.
comfy, comfortable. And as Mary goes about stoking a fire, there's no food here, and what food is here is no longer food. But Mary begins stoking a fire and getting together and grinding up the beans and making coffee. You do know, those of you who have been here, so everyone but Lavender essentially, the shops are not far from here that you could go and rustle up some food if you wanted to stock up on some things, or you have your own rations and things. You guys actually have pretty good rations and good food that you still have from your journey. So if you were okay with just cooking what you have, you can actually cook some of the good stuff that you have and cook it properly instead of haphazardly and just eating it raw.
We did buy fancy rations, so we never ended up using.
Let's
because
cook our
Feywild fed us
best.
very well.
Our best fancy rations, just as one last hurrah.
Yeah. As you go about the process of cooking, Mary, you finish making your coffee, and there's plenty of coffee for everyone to go around. It is warm. It is rich. It tastes amazing. It's invigorating.
I will sit on the floor, accept my little, I guess I have my own cup, I'll accept my little coffee, take a sip, and then I'll like lay out my cloak around me, take out Lightbringer, like put it across my knees, and then I'll start thinking about Fern and the Feywild and start casting Find Greater Steed.
Sure. It takes an hour.
Takes 10 minutes.
Takes 10 minutes. Okay. Mary's a 2-minute, takes an hour.
Yeah, I'll do that. Like, well, I'll let other people cook breakfast. and then-
Yeah, you focus on the coffee, and while you're focusing on the coffee, I would say like you have the hat with you, and easy enough to kind of go through.
I'm
the
just imagining
so-
wearing the stupid Robin Hood hat
Yeah.
for like an hour while making coffee in like the nicest, fanciest armor.
Yeah, you look like a dickhead, but
You look like good fan art at Forest D&D.
yeah, as everyone else just settles, and some of you go about making the nicest form of your rations and just kind of living a weird domestic life for an hour after a harrowing life or death battle. It's weird, but it's nice.
The best.
About 11 minutes or so later, Valentine, you feel your connection through the Summer Queen and through Aetherius ring true once more. And though you get no vision through, you get nothing more than the act of casting, and through that cast you feel magic surround you, and you can almost feel light pouring from the blade and pouring from you, and that light begins to kind of coalesce into Fern before you, and Fern just slowly kind of like grows out of this pool of light, and kind of pushing everybody back ever so slightly as he grows, and he's rather large, but he kind of shakes himself as he steps forward and then licks your face a bunch.
Tackle him.
And just nuzzles into you, and his I suppose we've kind of changed his look. Is he still like white and green? How do you describe Fern now?
I picture him, as like a dark green, like green and dark green. Almost looks like he's wearing like leaves instead of fur.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But he
his
still has the wings, yeah.
Wings are almost like leaves instead of feathers.
Does he change with the season?
And he changes with the season now.
I thought that's
Oh,
what
he's
you
more
said last
white
time.
than he is.
Yeah,
He's
that's
more
so
white than he is green now.
Now he is, yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll get his spring coat soon after Deep Winter's Day.
Yeah, you got some time still, but
Oh,
he's
buddy.
definitely more white with the undercoat of green and these brilliant emerald eyes, with like the irises of gold.
Valentine, how did you get Fern?
Fern?
Mm-hmm.
Fern was like a gift from The Summer Queen, kind of. I always felt like I had a connection. It's almost like Fern is my like magic incarnate.
Did you ever feel like you had someone like Fern or something like Fern around you before you got it?
Yeah, maybe this is like childish to admit, but sometimes as a kid, I would imagine like the wind was like a best friend. I was on my own, by myself a lot. So like when it would move leaves and stuff, I would kind of think that was like a friend following me around. And then I almost feel like Fern's part of that now.
Interesting. Sometimes I feel like that too. I wonder if I'll ever find something like that.
You could just...
Something way cooler than Jamichael, you know what I mean?
Well, anything would be way cooler than Jamichael.
So silly.
You could try, like, you just try and,
Try.
Yeah, try and form your magic into whatever that is. Try and call out to it and, I don't know, make a connection with your magic in the shape of something. Like Vern! Or Keith?
I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, you could let you sit and you think. It takes like 10 minutes for me to like focus on my magic.
Sit and think for 10 minutes?
Or you could do it your own way. You could draw something in your book. Draw something in your book that you think would be like, I don't know, your symbol, your magic, or whatever, and then see what happens.
Like these? Flips through her book.
No.
Oh, no,
that.
so not those. Like these ones.
Oh, that's cute.
This one.
That kind of looks like Dameron's little thing.
Do you like the coloring of this one?
Yeah, if you like it.
Interesting.
Why don't you just draw and focus your magic into it and see what happens?
Okay, I'm gonna go over there.
Okay, do you want me to like coach you and give you support?
Oh, do you need to coach me?
I'm just gonna drink my coffee with Fern. I don't want to be ridiculed by you anymore.
Oh, I'm not ridiculing you. I'm just saying, like, does this require coaching?
I was just gonna give support, but I think you can do it.
Okay. Please
don't show anyone those pictures of Honda that you just showed me.
Yeah, I was really hoping I would pick him for, let me not tell you.
You're not supposed to tell anyone. You make the rules.
Okay, so I'm going to go and just start thinking about what he told me.
You're muted, PS.
Oh.
Not you.
Okay. You begin thinking and you begin drawing, and you just kind of almost turn off any logic, and you just let emotion and chaos and your magic just run through you, and use your natural ability to draw it from you to the page. And it's just your hand is kind of flowing across, and time quickly passes and you don't even realize it. The rest of you, as breakfast is being served and coffee and you're taking in your relaxation, a full hour passes. And Lavender hasn't said a word for the first time since you've met her.
That was a good ad.
And Lav, look at this page that you've been focused on and drawing and pouring your heart and soul into for a full hour. And you see this incredibly lifelike creation sit before you. And it just shifts. It just moves ever so slightly on the page.
Oh my god. I must need more sleep.
It kind of looks at you and cocks its head.
Oh my god. Can you hear what I'm saying?
Kind of nods.
Oh my god. Do you speak my language?
Nods again.
Oh my god, everybody. Never mind, nothing's going on here. Oh my god. I take my pen, scratch its belly.
And it rolls over a bit.
Oh, you like that? That Valentine guy kind of knows what he's talking about sometimes.
Lavender's having a full-blown conversation with herself right now.
That's not that
Not normal.
new.
Or that's not-
This is way longer than you guys have been accustomed to thus far.
You okay over there?
Can I show you something?
Sure. Just pat Fern and walk over with my coffee.
Do you see anything weird about the page?
That cute drawing you did?
Yeah.
That looks pretty cute.
Nothing else? One sec, let me show you something.
Do I see anything else with that?
Looks like a cute kind of cat figure. It's very colorful. It's It's got beautiful wings. It's super cute.
Yes.
Look, I'll show you. I'll scratch his little belly.
She's just like scratching.
You see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's really cute.
Oh my god! That's not amazing.
It doesn't move at all when
Yeah, that's cool. You should you focus your magic on it and see if you can.
I did. It moved.
Well, maybe keep focusing, keep sitting still, and like reflecting and thinking and casting your magic with it. And I'm sure you know.
Okay.
Maybe one day
Lavender,
you'll get some like Fern.
you hear within your mind, Lavender, this faint voice that just says, "This fucking guy."
Oh my god, I know. Oh my god.
And one day,
Okay, Valentine, we get it.
you just gotta keep working on it.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for coming over. I'm just so busy right now.
You called me.
I'm so busy. I'm so sorry. I gotta go.
Fuck, whatever.
Oh my god. You've heard that guy too?
Faint kind of nod, roll of the head.
I wonder, is this just my drawings that come to life? Oh my god. I wonder if that drawing of Hondo could come to life.
Christ, I hope not.
Hopefully the cat's like,
Its eyes go suddenly very wide. Iris is very thin. But as you sit there and continue kind of like just like moving your pen across the page, it slowly seems to grow and begins to fill the entire page before leaps from the page up onto your shoulder and begins kind of nuzzling around your neck. It's incredibly soft.
look what I made!
Here we go again with this shit. I'll just
Look!
turn back. What the fuck is that?
Do you remember the cat?
The little drawing you made?
Yeah!
Where did you find that?
Did you find it? I drew it!
You made that?
Yeah!
With your chaos magic?
I don't know. You told me to focus. I focused. I drew the thing. I took the focus, and then here we. Oh my god, he's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
I will name her Auric.
Auric?
Mm-hmm. Derived from gold. Derived from the page. Beautiful forever. Forever mine.
Wow, okay.
Oh my god, sorry, I forgot you were still here.
Val, you notice the page is entirely blank now.
What the fuck? Cool, good for you. That's great. Nice to meet you, Auric. I'll reach a little hand out towards
I slap his hand away and I go, Raleigh, look! And I just like go over towards Raleigh.
So what exactly does he or she look like?
So Auric means derived from gold. So she has like kind of a lavendery belly and then more of like a goldy white all over. And there's like just kind of some scruffs and stuff. And on the tips of its wings, it's like very, very gold. And she's just so cute.
Yeah, and for reference, she is a Tressum.
Tressum.
little winged cat.
Mm-hmm. Super cute.
Hello, Tress.
At this point, about an hour and a half has passed. You guys are well fed, jazzed up with coffee, and suddenly Mary's house is filled with animals.
Keith.
Which I'm sure she loves.
This is far more individuals than have ever been in this home.
Yeah, it's starting to get cramped.
times like, how many of us are there? Times that many.
Yeah, it's starting to
Usually
get pretty
just me.
cramped in here. With just Keith and Fern alone, it's a little tight. But then you've also got 6 wild cards and now a cat. Tressum.
A Tressum.
Oh.
Well, do you guys want to go to the castle now that we had this breakfast and now that we have a new member of the Wildcards?
Are we gonna bring the menagerie?
Yeah.
Keith just sneezes.
Oh my god, is Keith allergic to
Oh my god,
cats?
hope he's not allergic.
Only the kind with wings.
Let's go to the Delirians.
Yeah, let's see if we can. Actually, I will. Remind me, Kyle. I know not everyone wears them all the time, but the rest of the Delirians, they had earrings too, right?
So
I think Colton had one,
Colton,
but he wasn't wearing it all the time.
yeah, Colton and technically Actually, I don't think even Malcolm did. I think Malcolm Colton has the Delarian one.
I know his
Lillian
mom had
didn't.
one during the fight.
She took
but-
one from somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think she kept it. And I know Alexander had one as well.
Alexander definitely has one, and Colton has one. But whether it's Colton's or whether they wear them all the time, you're not sure.
There's one thing we should probably do before we go to the Delarians, and that's Neovir's ashes.
It's on the way.
We might find the queen there. Anyway, it's her place.
Let's do it. Can you remind us where we're going for Neovir's ashes?
Pardon me. Throat got something very...
Neovir, by the way, just jumping in, hadn't watched our Wildcards character study, was our cleric who passed away in the Abyss just before we started our stream.
Mm-hmm. She was a Aasimar cleric of Pelor, an NPC who was with in the campaign from the very beginning, but yeah, sadly passed away. And one of her last wishes, kind of in the Raise Dead ritual to Valentine, was that her ashes be brought back and planted at the base of this golden tree in the Temple of the Dawn in Arendelle. And the Temple of Dawn, for you guys, is the Temple to Pelor on the upper Arendelle side of the track, so to speak, heading east of the King's Bridge and across the King's Way, up from lower into upper Arendelle. It's to get from Mary's place all the way up to the castle is like an hour and a half, 2 hours of travel, and it would be an hour to an hour and a half to get to the temple. It's quite a ways. Mary's house is almost down by the docks. It's actually closer to your boat, actually. And also for reference, we haven't really talked about the Delarians on stream, but in passing we have. But Malcolm Delarian, King Malcolm Delarian, is the king of Exander, and he and his family, his wife Lillian and son Colton, live in Whitethorn Hall in Arendelle, which is the capital of Exander. These guys, through heroic deeds in battles with the Revenant Vow, have become part of like the small council and are well known and ingratiated with the Delarians and the small council. They don't necessarily have any day-to-day say, but when there are greater matters at hand, the Wildcards are trusted allies.
They also saved Colton from the Abyss, although it was admittedly our fault why he was there.
Yeah, little back and forth there.
Yeah. Lavender, when's the last time you've been in the city? Sorry, I didn't mean to get you when you were on mute.
Can you say that again, man?
Said, when was the last time you've been in the city?
I don't know. Anytime that I was there with you guys. I normally, when I was traveling on my own, I would basically just go in the brush.
Yeah, I would say, Lavender, you've never been inside Arendelle proper. Any meetings that you would have had with your connections to Evenfall would have been communications that would have found you wherever you were. And any in-person meetings were more on your side of the map in the south than you ever made any connection up here. You didn't actually spend too much time in Exander at all. You were kind of more on the west coast and along the south, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really been to this part of the world.
It's an interesting city. I think you'll like it.
What makes it so interesting?
It's changed a lot. To be fair, we'll see what it looks like. Last time we saw it, it was kind of torn to shit, but it's just a really big place with a lot of different kinds of people.
I like a lot of people.
A little bit of everything's here, especially in Lower Arendelle. There's a lot of interesting cultures. The hoity-toity side, I don't really go over there that often. I guess that's where we're headed, but
where would you go if you got in trouble?
If you got in trouble, like if you did some bad shit?
Yeah, some petty theft.
There's petty theft happens a good amount in Lower Arendelle. I don't know how much you'd be persecuted for it, but there's barracks, all that shit, way up in the fancy side, and a couple places down here, like just stay for the night, let you go in the morning with a slap in your hand.
Who you mentioned different cultures. Is there any culture that is, everybody is nicer to than the other ones, like higher rank than the other ones?
I mean, it's less so now. When I was growing up, the Blackthorn Egoth, the big guy on fire who was a beholder.
Yeah.
He used to run a group called the Blackthorn, and they weren't great people. They admittedly weren't fan of orc kind, but since they've been booted out, or at least diminished over the years, it's basically diminished. I
was thinking of shape changing while I was here, and I definitely don't want to shape change into that guy. He was so gross.
Yeah, he's not a good dude. I mean, he didn't always look like that, and he wasn't always that terrifying, but
they never are. Cool. Well, I'm excited to see more.
I mean, just be yourself here if you can. There's enough people here you can blend in pretty easily. I mean, well, maybe not with all motion to the menagerie. We tend to stand out as a group.
I'll move in and be like, you're going to love Upper Arendelle. This Lower Arendelle part's not like the greatest, but like Upper Arendelle.
I can tell you're vibing right now, and I'm really excited to see what you can show me about this place.
It's going to be great. We're going to hit up like this marketplace. You're going to love it.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Last time we were there, I think we almost stole something or almost murdered someone. It was
almost? By accident?
No, pretty intentional, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
we're still working it out.
You'll get a bit of a tour. We're literally going to go it's like a corkscrew all the way up almost. We're going to go almost the full gambit, so you'll get the grand tour, I guess.
More or less.
But first, let's hit up the temple.
Okay. As you all set off, you exit out of Mary's home.
I double check that it doesn't just look like I'm wearing a stupid hat. I want to make sure that's done, and then I don't look super ridiculous.
What do you want to look like?
Literally just like what my clothes used to look like. I look exactly the same.
Dark armor.
Yeah, dark armor. We're kind of beat up. Big heavy cloak. Like just exactly what my everyday outfit used to look like. There are no little bat ears on my outfit. It just looks like beat up leather. I won't change my weapons. I know I have new weapons since then, but just the clothes.
Yeah, your golden utility belt.
Hello belt.
Yeah. You do have a relatively thick gray cloak that's a little tattered along the edges and slightly dirty. Trying to look understated, I suppose.
Just trying to look like.
Trying to blend in.
I will be riding on top of Fern, hair out, feeling good, saying hi to people.
Yeah, as we begin leaving Mary's cottage kind of home, you can see the area immediately outside is not this grand sweeping metropolis that was described. This area is pretty run down. It looks like it's been through hell and back, and legitimately it did come through a war not that long ago, or at least a large battle. But the streets are relatively well made, cobblestone streets. And as you kind of exit Mary's home, and you kind of have to make your way through a couple of different alleys to get out to the main thoroughfare, you look off to your left as you're kind of on this lower section, and you're very near the sea. You're very near the Northwind Sea. And as you all exit out, right from the beginning, it's cold. It is well into a typical winter in Arendelle. And there's large fat flakes of snow are falling. It's a brisk cold wind, very dry, but clear, dry and clear despite the cold. You're all relatively prepared for cold weather, and okay to travel without any impairments. But you look off to the left, and you can see the King's Bay, and you see several different merchant ships, and it's a bustling activity. You can see tons of people moving on dockyards, moving barrels and crates and items and things. And you can see out, just like you can see a faint expanse of white-capped ocean off, and actually icy ocean off to the north. But if you follow the line of this bay, as you kind of follow along this thick seawall, you follow it up and around, and it kind of stretches as far as you can see up and around this large, long curve. And as Mary described, this kind of corkscrew-like swirl up to a rising peak of stone. And atop it, you see a rather ornate and impressive hull and castle. Large battlement walls surround the exterior, but you can see there's a singular large tower and several other towers and turrets coming off in multiple different arrays off of this massive hull. A definitely picturesque and stately estate. But nonetheless, you continue through this lower Arendelle kind of slum-like section, and still a bustling activity. You see people, as Mary described, of every race and kind. They are just all moving about. Most of you catch several side glances, given your state. Many, though, focused on Valentine astride this gleaming white fox, and just emblazoned and looking as stately as he can. Looks very out of place right now. For the first half hour, you kind of travel through this similar working class area until you reach this large open marketplace area. You can see a huge square is open, and from this square, just rows on rows on rows on rows of rows kind of spiraling out in a cog from this area. Different just pathways, alleys, shops, and inns, taverns, pubs, the whole nine. Everything begins to spiral out from this hub of activity. And kind of central to this hub, you can see, familiar to the Wildcards who have been here before, this massive, almost Greek-like Colosseum, but just large pillared structure that is the Grand Bazaar, this massive trading house that you have been into, and as Valentine alluded to, tried to steal something, murdered a guy. It was a whole thing. That's going back to the early days. That's going back to the early days.
It was like episode 2.
Gord ice knifed a guy. It was a whole thing.
And that wasn't all of us who murdered.
No.
Very specific.
You reminisce for a moment, and Val and Mary, you remember the time of telling off Egos' right-hand man in the middle of this square as Colton was making a grand announcement that the Blackthorns were to be kicked from the city. And you remember this kind of playing out in your mind. You remember that from this market square, looking to the west, the walls around the city, to that west wall directly from down this line, down this one corridor from the marketplace that would line directly with the this massive bridge that crosses this huge Kings River ravine. You remember the west wall that fell when the giants and the Blackthorns attacked, from which you defended. You can now see the wall is in full repair. All of these shops seem to be still some in construction. You can see the bustling of activity has a lot to do with the reconstruction efforts. And this area seemed to be focused on more than Lower Arendelle for sure, than the kind of slums where Mary's home was. Even the King's Bay seemed to have taken some damage from the last time you were here. But nonetheless, flurry of activity, but your goal is across the river and up into Upper Arendelle.
As we pass that, do we pass by the, or when we pass by the Stormforge, there would just be like walking in the back, because if Val's in the front, I am trying to distance myself from that shit just slightly. There's like a little bit of third-party embarrassment going on there, or secondhand embarrassment.
There's some secondhand embarrassment, but as you do catch sight of the Stormforge, as you guys make your way across this marketplace, heading up to the east, across the bridge, a small group of children kind of rush towards Fern and Valentine and are all kind of hopping up and like asking to see if they can pet him, and just want to know who he is, and they're just enthralled with both Fern, Keith, and one child kind of makes his way over to Lavender with like starry eyes looking at your tressum on your shoulder. They are all just enthralled with your creatures.
We're the Wildcards. Don't you guys remember us? Help save the city? Tell your friends.
A lot of blank stares, but now just focused on your animals. Don't give a shit about you.
Hondo, we got to work on branding. I've told you this. We need pins to give us to the children.
At least target the people with money, not these pesky children.
Listen, these children have parents, hopefully, who then are maybe rich. We'll talk about branding later.
They could be carrying diseases.
No, these children aren't carrying diseases.
After that war, their parents are probably dead.
Be easy, both of you. Both
like
of you.
half the kids kind of just like begin to kind of back away and just kind of scatter ever so slightly.
Wait, I got an idea, kids. Hold on a second. Lav, can I have a couple pieces of paper from your notebook?
Yeah, just take them from the back. The rest is not kid friendly.
Okay, so I just like take out a couple, and then I take some charcoal and I rub it on their paws and their hooves, and I give it to the children as an autograph.
Oh my god, that's the gift.
They each take them and are enthralled and kind of rush off into the crowd holding theirs, and all kind of begin trading back and forth which one they wanted. In the time,
guys, that's what you're supposed to do.
I didn't know. This is the first time having a pet. Well, not the first time, if you know what I'm talking about.
Several times.
Several dead horses ago.
I'm trying to keep this one alive.
And an elk that ran away.
Oh, yeah.
He could still be alive.
That's why I changed its name.
Mary, as this kind of small fanfare is happening, you do catch sight of the Stormforge through the crowd, and on the opposite side, kind of headed south. Not directly here in the marketplace, but it's a tall, almost, that is more of like a Colosseum-like structure, though way smaller than the actual Colosseum. But you do catch sight of the tops of it over the buildings.
Just a small smile at the kids, and then catch that in the background and a slightly sadder smile. That's it.
You can see there along the top are several lit torches of kind of this faint greenish flame that you recognize as a sign that there are bouts still happening within the Stormforge. Fights are still happening. There still seems to be life seems to continue on, and that is still a part of Arendelle.
I know Mary has history there. Had we ever been there? I can't remember if we ever went.
We fought, like, this is the area where we fought, and it was on the side, but we never actually, it was boarded up.
Yeah, it had never really been explored. I think Mary had tried to go there, but yeah, there was nothing to be found there. Way back. Nonetheless, a small detour, and you just see that life continues on in Arendelle. Very, very busy in this lower Arendelle market area. But you make your way across the bridge, and it is truly a picturesque sight to travel across this bridge. And it is a wide, long bridge, as you guys remember, taking down Syndra, who had this explosive device that she was looking to blow this bridge up, that Mary and Hondo managed to salvage and turn into several explosives for your own use. And her Syndra's ultimate demise, Raymond's former apprentice. And there's just these kind of faint memories that come along with every time you see a new site and a new set here in Arendelle. But another short travel across, and the buildings begin to rapidly change in texture and style. The people begin to very quickly change. And on this side, you can see a heavier presence of these these guards in gleaming plate, and you can see white tunics over top that bear this kind of rose and thorn symbol and motif that you are all familiar with of the white thorns of the Delarian crest. And you can see immediately there are several on this side of the bridge, and you did see some on the lower Arendelle side. However, on not either side, there is either a look of recognition or a look that you're not to be worried about traveling through here. You either fit better on Upper Arendelle side and they expect you to live on this side, or they recognize you for one of your many adventures through here in days past. And there's no stoppage, not even really a whole lot of recognition in coming to speak with you. Maybe a couple of passing nods, but nothing much more than that. But the buildings here are far fancier. They're well made, well maintained. There's a lot more polished metal and glass, and the shops here are fancier, and the people here are much better dressed. And there's definitely an air of superiority that is kind of disheartening, unsettling, however you want to look at it.
It's very Verdantia.
It's very much the Verdantia side of the city. But it's kind of this weird look at the split of the worlds in a singular city. And as you kind of continue your walk through like swept clean cobblestone streets, you can see a large temple kind of looming somewhat in the distance, almost hanging over the embankment down, looking down into the King's Bay. You can still see the Whitethorn Hall as you've now kind of come around this side. You can see it in the distance up as like this kind of pinnacle overlooking the city. But closer, you see this kind of domed top, this gilded, almost like conservatory looking building. You can see there are these, as I said, gilded metallic strips atop, and you can see large panes of glass, giving this open dome to the open sky above, and several columns out front, and large open doors in which you can see a couple of white-robed individuals are kind of standing out front and chatting with passersby and accepting donations as they're standing out front, as is expected in a church, looking for ways for donations and ways to help out with their causes. And you guys are just outside if you wish to continue here.
Is this where we snuck in once before and found that secret passage to that like
This
temple?
is where you found Heartbreaker.
Wow.
Valentine gets very misty-eyed.
Yeah, beneath the temple here, there was long rumored to be where Alasir, the champion of Pelor, was laid to rest. And early in the Wildcards adventures, Niamh had found that rumor and had told the Wildcards that to help combat the Revenant Vow, they would need the guidance of the gods. They would need the weapons of champions, and kind of began their path down towards these relics that they have now acquired 3 of. However, unfortunately, the Dawnbringer blade was not really here, though the burial site, or at least a temple, a small temple or vigil to Alasir lies beneath here. A simple sunblade was found, but that sunblade became Heartbreaker.
I'll like tighten my hand on Lightbringer, not in an aggressive way, but just in a
immediately feel that reassurance back and that warmth, and there is just this faint warm breeze that kind of swirls around your whole group and almost like comes up the street around you all and then rushes towards the open doors.
Good a sign as any. Let's go do right by Niamh.
Okay.
I will, before we get there, I'll take off my bag, or at least reach in and pull out hopefully some sort of urn that I had taken from the Platinum Sanctuary with Niamh's ashes in.
Yeah, plenty of urns or small pots of some kind, but there would be definitely something there from the sanctuary.
Pull that out, just fold it, and then put my bag back on.
You all begin to make your way up the relatively short but kind of white marble stairs through the open doors, and you see two clerics or priests of Pelor. You can see the symbol of the sun, the radial sun, on their chest on top of their vestments. And they hold out just kind of simple bowls, wooden bowls before them. You can see a couple of coins are scattered within. They are both kind of elderly, one human, one looks dwarvish, though the hair has gone gray and kind of hanging in long curls. The beard is braided, though you can see a little scraggly over age to this dwarf, Allie, and those of you who would pick up on that. This guy's old. Super fucking old. Lavender's libido.
Old dwarves. Old dwarves are Lav's thing.
Yeah. Lav's eyebrows.
But they both nod warm smiles to you as you make your way in, and you enter inside the Temple of the Dawn, and immediately you see several columns that kind of line this long entryway. And on the floor, you see a herringbone pattern of gold and white marble tiles that lead you down the path into the central portion of this. It's an awe-inspiring sight, as within beneath the domed structure above, there is a sunken, about 5 or 6 step down, kind of sunken garden. And in about 30, 40 feet wide on a corner. And you make your way across this long build up towards it. You can see people bustling about on all sides, just taking care of people. To the north here, through a couple of doors, there are wings for taking care of the sick and infirm, and there are some other areas to the left and all around of just different things that happen within the temple that you've experienced before. Small libraries and places for people to stay and sleep. But this is the central altar, as it were. Within this stepped, sunken garden, a central tree rises up from its kind of this thick undergrowth and thick layers of just thousands of flowers and offerings and things just piling all around the base of this tree, almost reminiscent of Endora and the tree upon which the city of the elves is built, though much smaller in size. But you can see its white bark, almost like a birch tree, but far thicker like a redwood. And it grows, and you can see hundreds of smaller boughs reach out and extend outward, and the leaves themselves are this faint kind of yellowing gold, and some green within, some turning red. But it's this just brilliant sight beneath this kind of perpetual kind of rays of sun that kind of gleam in through the open domed glass ceiling above. And it's just truly a little awe-inspiring.
As we enter further, can I just find someone who works there bustling about?
Easy.
Just pull someone aside. Just ask if Lillian, Her Majesty, is she in today?
I believe so. Is there a pressing matter? She is, I believe, taking care of some matters right now, but if it's important.
No, I think just let her know the wildcards are here. She can do with that information what she will. Nothing urgent.
There's you very quickly recognize a faint recognition of the name, though not your faces or who you are directly. You don't recognize this person, but then the name kind of sparks, and there's another kind of warm smile and a nod, and he says, I'm sure she would wish to speak with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Perhaps if you would be here a little while, I don't want to speak for her, that she may not be out here immediately.
No, of course. We have some business looking at Val.
Excellent. I will deliver your message. He kind of nods and slips away.
I'll start moving towards that sunken down garden.
Mm-hmm.
Is it grass or soil there?
As you kind of step down the last step, there is almost like perfectly trimmed grass leading right up to the base of the tree. For about 10 to 15 feet on all sides is grass. And then for another 10 feet is just massive piles of flowers and offerings and stuff like that. And then the base of the tree kind of winds its way through its roots, kind of pulling in and around, almost dividing up the different beds of flowers and offerings.
I'll try and find, are there any like yellow flowers?
Lots.
I'll try and find a nice group of them, and then look at everyone else, and then just make my way towards that, try and get like as close to the base of the tree as possible.
Sure.
Hondo, do you want to maybe use Whisper or the Blink Dagger and just dig a little hole here?
I will do that. So I'll just stick it in, and then I'll start like creating a little hole, and then I'll just scoop it out.
Easy enough. Probably the least offensive work you've ever done with the blade.
There's still time.
You very quickly carve out a spot, and you can see there are a handful of people putting forth an offering, or just praying, or sitting and just kind of enjoying the peace and quiet. And you get a couple of looks based on your party, and some are just kind of watching idly, some curiously, but none staring untoward or appalled as you go ahead and you do dig forth a little hole big enough to fit your purpose here.
I'll just hold on to the urn, kind of look at the wild cards. Did anyone want to say anything to Neavir before we put this in? We still have our armor. We have any other items of hers maybe we want to put to rest with her?
I will say, Neavir, enjoy this forever. And then I'll just touch the hole and be like, in case you needed some of my juices.
You touch it, and it was so sweet, and then it wasn't.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Brawley, Mary, Corey, do you want to say anything?
No.
I think she'd like that.
Thanks for watching us. I can't wait to see you again one day.
I'll look at Mary. If she's not going to say anything, that's fine.
Oh, I will say one more thing. Neavir, you will forever be the number one in my heart. But if it could be many years before I die, so just please forgive me if I move on to other people. I'll always remember you, but just,
I'll put an arm on him. She gets it. She got it.
Hasn't he already moved on to other people?
He's fine. I will kneel down, unscrew the top a bit of this urn, and then just say, you're who brought us together. You protected us, healed us, you brought us back from the brink, and look over Hondo. You saved us so many times. One of the last things you did was save that man there, and in turn, he saved all of us. So you continue to save us, and we continue to still feel your light and your love. I'll admit, I didn't know if we were going to get back here to do this, but I'm really happy we did. So, see you soon, Neavir, but not too soon. And then I'll just put the ashes in.
It's a somber moment, but a good one. You pour the ashes in, and kind of together kind of scoop the dirt back over the hole, and each kind of push down the earth and just return part of her to the place where you found one another and found something within her and within Pelor. And as you all kind of stand and look at the spot and hold one another, and you can feel the light in the room just seem to grow immensely. The sunbeam that was kind of pulling down over to the tree is beaming like none other. And then it fades, and perhaps it was only the clouds moving over the sun, just letting the full weight of the sun through. And perhaps Neavir looking down, perhaps Pelor, the god himself, recognizing a good deed done. But nonetheless, you all feel emboldened. And you know Neavir is where she wants to be.
I'll pick a little yellow flower, put it on there, and then I'll pick another one and put it in my pocket. I'll look at Lav and be like, you would have really liked her. A lot. If you can believe it, she also kept Hondo in his place, or at least tried to. So you'd have that in common.
The amulet you have is also from here. She's the one who got it for us.
That's true. You have a part of her with you. What was that, H?
I was going to say, we will always remember her with that amulet.
Yeah.
You hear some footsteps making their way towards you, louder than the rest, and you notice now that this kind of sound had kind of faded from the room as the light kind of cascaded about this space. And as you kind of look in past your group, you can see there are several people kind of stunned in silence and just looking about the space. And you now notice that from the tops of the trees, you can just see a faint kind of drifting of light kind of from the tree, as if each of a couple of different leaves, these golden leaves, kind of plucked from the branches and are slowly kind of drifting, but giving off this kind of golden light. And you watch as each one slowly drifts towards each of you. This kind of, couple inch long, just gilded leaf just drifts down and kind of taps on the side of your armor in your palm. Kind of glides off Gord's helmet.
I'll pick it and put it in my breast pocket.
As you take hold, Mary, as you grab hold of one of the leaves that kind of just is slowly drifting by you, you look past and you see Lillian. Lillian Delarian is about 10 feet off and making her way towards you when this kind of scene is taking place. And she kind of catches herself for a moment watching. But you see this kind of slow smile kind of creep across her face. And again, you see the kind of tall, blonde, long blonde hair, and this almost picturesque face of Lillian Delarian, of Lady Delarian, still in the kind of white and gold garb of a priest or cleric of Pelor, as you guys know she is. She makes her way towards you with a relatively large symbol of Pelor on her chest. You can see this red ruby sits right in the middle, and the radial of gold kind of splays out from that. But she makes her way towards you with just kind of a smile and just kind of looks up and says, well, I suppose every time you come to the city, there's something happening. I hope this time it's kinder.
This is one of the better things to fall from the skies when we're around.
Truly. It is good to see you.
Nice to see you.
What brings you to the city?
Saying goodbye to old friends, first and foremost. We,
Okay.
I don't know if anyone told you, but Neavir fell in battle. And that was us just paying our respects to her. That was her last wish.
While trying to save your son.
You can see just kind of a look of remembrance and this kind of settling feeling, or look, I should say. It's like sinking in her. She kind of just loses stature ever so slightly. She says, "We were told when Alexander and Colton returned home, but a part of me had always hoped that you would find a way. I know that foolish and selfish. But you've done amazing things before, returning my son twice to me. I thought perhaps." You can see just the glint of a tear kind of slip down her cheek.
She's where she wants to be. We know that she's at peace.
Well, that's comforting at least.
Not to jump to business, I hope things are well here, but we'd love to speak to you and your family when we next could.
As you well know, you are welcome within our home any hour. You've done us more than enough service in a short few months than most people do in a lifetime.
Appreciate that. I think there's a couple things we wanted to accomplish here in Arendelle, and yeah, maybe first to speaking to you and your family, catching you guys up, talking about future plans. But I'm kind of interested in checking out. We've never really been to the college here.
Well, I would recommend making your way to the hall. Malcolm and the Greater Council are intending to meet, if not already have met today. Matters of the college are first and foremost on their agenda. I'm sure they would do a better job of explaining the situation. But as I say, if you wish to make your way there, I'm sure that at least Malcolm will be there and he will happily see you. Perhaps not the full council. And of course, if you wish, we would be more than happy to help you for dinner.
Well, after we say no to a dinner?
No, we never say no to a dinner. Hi, my name is Lavender.
Lavender, you're a new face. It is a pleasure to meet you. If you are friends of the Wildcards, you are friends of the Delarians. My name is Lillian Delarian. Welcome to our city.
Lovely to meet you.
Maybe. What do you guys think? Should we head over to the college?
I mean, if any of the members of the council are around, I'm sure we have things that everyone should probably know.
Why don't we head to the college and see if we can catch Malcolm there and then catch the rest of the family up at dinner? Does that sound good?
Check first at the in the meeting room within the hall. Galdrin will of course recognize you and lead you through. You remember Galdrin is the orc captain of the guard.
Yeah, he was cool.
It's super cool, dude.
Kind of Colton's bodyguard, but ultimately...
What a rough job that is. By the way.
There's Colton getting himself into so much shit way
Colton's
over his
like
head.
a teenager who just needs action so bad, but always needs saving. That's my read on him.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, check in with Galdrin. He should be within the hall. He will lead you to wherever Malcolm is, if with the council or without. He would be very glad to see you. Hasn't.
Yeah, let's do it. And then we'll meet you for dinner later.
Please.
Do you want us to bring wine, or what were you going to say? Anything?
I'll say it after you.
Oh, yeah, we'll bring some wine if you want, and some dessert.
Whatever you wish to bring would be lovely.
You know what? Hondo made something real special for my family last time we had a nice dinner, so I'll see if you can find something like that.
She kind of cocks her head and says, I never would have taken you for much of a chef. My apologies.
He's not, I think is.
Well, hold on.
You're not to eat as much as I was. You have to learn to cook with what.
I can appreciate utility.
All right, hope you like surf and turf.
Just in case, we'll have something prepared.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Hopefully turf, please.
I'm sorry to excuse myself. I'm in the middle of some duties here, but we can, of course, catch up later tonight.
It was great to see you, and we'll see you later tonight.
Likewise.
Mary, do you know where the college is, by the way? I have no
Yes,
idea.
no, we don't have to go to the college. We have to go to the main hall. I'll just start walking.
As they start walking forward, I like kind of just really slow, whatever. I like hang back and I like quickly rip a page from my book, and it's like on it there's like a drawn angel, and it's everything that I've heard everyone else say about Neovir like over the past bit, and then I just fold it up really quickly and I just bury it under the thing, and I just put both hands on it and say, you have been missed. We never met, but I wanted you to know. And then I just turn my back on it, and then I like kind of jog and like catch up.
Absolutely.
And on the back of it's a naked Hondo.
Just for her.
Oh shit, I started like erasing it.
She appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no. Also take this one.
Lav, as you jog to catch up, you catch Lillian. She began to kind of walk away, but you catch her just kind of wistfully looking up at the tree, and you can just see another kind of tear and just like this faint kind of look of remembrance on her face. And you kind of catch that, and then you rush and catch up with the rest of the rock.
She grabs one of the leaves on the way that was fell and pressed it into her book.
That's nice.
Lovely. Yeah, Val, you would also remember the college is within the Whitethorn Hall kind of grounds.
Yeah, of course.
There was a huge fight there.
Yeah, it's
multiple fights. We fought a dragon.
It's near where you guys fought the White Dragon.
No,
different one, unfortunately.
Oh,
This guy was real old. What was his name?
Raydur.
I don't know that we ever learned his name.
Well,
They
that's his
did.
name.
I said
Did we? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
he was like real boasty. He's like, I'm Raydur.
hey yo, I'm Raydur.
Hey yo, Raydur's here.
He was real old, right?
He was walking here.
He
was
looks
real old.
rough from what I remember.
Yeah, he was old, but not like ancient old, but like worn down from being
I love how that
beaten
has to
by
be
frost
the-
giants.
It has to with this. It's different.
Not ancient old, but like
Ancient's a whole thing. You don't want to fuck with that.
No. But from the Temple of the Dawn to Whitethorn Hall, it is not a long jaunt, and very quickly you can see Whitethorn Hall kind of growing quickly towards you. There's definitely a larger guard presence here. But once more, as you approach, the guards have a kind of look of remembrance across most of you. And there's there's several nods, and a couple of people who kind of put a fist up. And Hondo, you hear as you pass, just very faintly, just like a couple of oinks. And people just like shouting and oinking at you. To which Lavender, you do not understand why people are oinking at Hondo.
yeah, what is going on?
I have to let out an oink for that. Oink!
But a few of the pigmen still remain.
God, I forgot about that.
But with no impedance, you walk right through the open gates into the larger sprawling grounds of the central castle, Whitethorn Hall. And you can see immediately as you make your way through these massively tall gates, which have also been repaired since the battle with the dragon and the Greater War. There are guard barracks and the way down into the dungeons, pardon me, to the right.
Well, that got exploded too, didn't it?
Within, not the exterior.
Oh, okay.
But below, there was some damage that you're not sure if it's been fully fixed yet. You can see the massive hall itself, this multiple story, and as I said, kind of towers peeking out from all different angles. And to the far left, looking back towards the bay, you do see a singular tower rising about 4 or 5 stories, just a kind of single tower all on the top. You can see battlements or a few slits within for as windows, and would be the College of Whitethorn. But you're headed within the Great Hall, and you can see the kind of large marble steps leading up, and the doors there are also open as people are kind of coming and going from within. They're not just open, but people are coming and going. You kind of follow through and make your way into the Great Hall, and are greeted by just a massive, beautifully ornate Great Hall. And quickly, as your name is kind of quickly filtered through as you made your way into the entrance, rushing around a corner, a quick march step, you see a polished breastplate, kind of slicked back black hair, and sturdy jaw of the half-orcish Galdrin, in his full kind of captain of the guard regalia. He makes his way, clattering armor on the marble stone as he makes his way towards you. Says, "Wildcards, welcome back to Whitethorn Hall."
Aldrin, you look good.
Thank you. I am beginning to feel my age in the many years of service. However, I still have several left in me, I think.
Well, depends what Colton's up to, I guess, but I like the sound of that.
Well, with the thanks of you and yours, he has more years of whatever he's going to do.
Truly, it's real good to see you. Is Malcolm around as well?
Absolutely. I did receive word rather quickly from Lady Delarian that you would be coming. So please follow me. And he begins leading you through the hall. You pass through the Great Hall, you pass through the kind of dining halls and into the throne room. And as you recall, the same kind of path through the throne room. On the one side, there's this kind of inset of a couple of doors, and he leads you inside one, into which you see this long, large table and several windows that lead out into a courtyard beyond. But you recall this as the kind of war room, as it were, or the council room. Several tall wingback chairs sit around this table. You can see there's kind of scattering of maps and parchments across the table. And at the far side of the room, you see Malcolm. You see at his side, Alexander as well. No sign of Colton, and so far those are the only two in the room. But Galdrin comes in, announces your presence, to which Malcolm stands, a wide smile beneath this rather larger growing beard to his face. You can see his thick brown hair is kind of in tidy, clean locks that kind of hangs down, but you can see several streaks of gray through beard and hair as he stands. This definite regal bearing and stern eyes, but a wide-set smile. And over top of his rather illustrious looking, several layered clothing and the simple crown that you've seen him wear before, he smiles and beams and gestures quickly, losing the kind of formality of a king and taking on a very quick, friendly tone. Alexander looks only to Mary, and you see he is not wearing armor or leathers or anything. He's wearing a rather stately looking set of kind of half robes, half suit in this kind of emerald green, and a kind of starch like white kind of shirt that is kind of open at the neck, and his hair is kind of long and slicked back straight, clean shaven still, and just the hint of this kind of wry smile as you make your entrance. But his eyes are fixed to yours, Mary, as Malcolm welcomes you in. Says, Wildcards, it has been too long. Please.
Before that, I will elbow laugh and look at Alexander and Mary.
I already saw.
Okay. Malcolm, it's so good to see you.
As I say, it has been too long to have seen you all. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done. He gestures towards Alexander, who also kind of doffs his head ever so slightly. For Alexander and for Colton. And I know the challenges you have faced since our last meeting. And I had thought the battles we waged together within this city were enough for a lifetime, but I have to imagine you've been off in far truly worse adventures since then.
We've had to face your friend Raymond.
I would call him no more friend. I have been betrayed by someone I had called a brother. That stings more than I can admit.
Fortunately, I don't think the last battle we had here would potentially be the last overall. We have lots of things to talk about. I don't know if now's the right time for all of it, but...
No, perhaps a proper council meeting, the extended small council. It would be good to know what you know, sooner than later. But perhaps you're right. Getting the right voices all together, in the right space, the right mindset. We can get something set up very soon. You intend to stay within the city, I hope, for a few days at least.
Yeah, I think this could be our home base. We might pop around the continent, but always come back here.
He kind of cocks an eyebrow, says, "You've learned since we've last seen each other, I have to assume."
We learned, yeah, a couple things.
Sure.
Just didn't want to break it down. Yeah, we learned some stuff.
Good. Always good to have smart, strong allies.
Alexander, how was the desert?
Hot.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of sand.
I look at Mary and I just mouth, hot.
God. This is Lavender, by the way.
That's Lavender.
Oh, hi. I was staring at the other guy.
King, easy.
Malcolm extends a hand to shake yours and clasps it in both and says, "A new recruit." He kind of gestures to the rest of you.
I'm like this. And Auric is just circled up and she's like, oh.
At Malcolm or at Alexander?
The one holding my hand.
Is that Malcolm?
That's the king. Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
God.
That's why she's impressed.
He takes your hand and kind of grasps it, and then as he kind of mentions a new recruit and kind of scritches Auric ever so slightly, says, "Any friend of the Wildcards, a friend of ours. Pleasure to meet you."
She's been invaluable.
It's my pleasure to be here, to meet you.
Wonderful.
I look at Brawley and just mouth, pleasure.
She's met so many royals while being with you guys.
Yeah,
It's true.
It's true, yeah.
I never assumed she's been one.
Yeah.
that's true.
You've met 3 of 4 royal families.
You're doing a good job. Keep it up. Well, perhaps Lillian passed along the news, but we're coming for dinner tonight. That's okay with you, Malcolm?
Of course. Amazing to have excellent guests such as yourselves join us. In truth, we, as you say, we have much to discuss, though I would say we have much to discuss and much to celebrate and much to perhaps not take so much in business immediately. It would be lovely just to live life and enjoy one another for a short time.
I'm very much in favor of that.
It's only a few days till Deep Winter's Day. You must stay at least till then.
Oh, we know about Deep Winter's Day. We're all big fans. Right, guys?
Yes, we have learned about that.
Yes.
Malcolm
Some of
kind
us have never experienced one before.
Malcolm kind of like sits back ever so slightly as like that was a weird response, but kind of shakes it off rather quickly.
You're like, right, guys?
It's a whole orphan group together thing, but they'll learn.
Of course. Well, I think this year of all years, it would be a proper celebration in the city. Everyone has something to celebrate this year.
I agree. Were you guys gathering for any particular reason here? I know we just talked about not doing business and celebrating, but...
No, of course. We just had a council meeting just to discuss typical business, the fund relocation for the continued improvements and reconstruction in Lower Arendelle, relocation efforts of our Wayward Rogue Point citizens who are now relocating mostly within the city here. As you can imagine, that's caused a significant influx of price gouging in homes, unfortunately, and businesses in Lower Arendelle that we're trying our best to combat. How are the other matters? Oh, of course. We have been sort of at a loss for how to deal with our loss of our Arcanist, our chief Arcanist, in Raymond. In truth, we had a lot of eggs in one basket. And that has become an obvious error in our ways. And we have taken to a far more rigorous search of Whitethorn Hall's best and brightest, as it were. We've picked 3 candidates out of those trained under Raymond and have found actually, if any kind of looks around and Alexander nods. And Alexander actually picks up and says, we've actually found several of Raymond's, several of his students still allied with him in secret. There have been several who are still pulling for the Revenant Vow still trying to work the inner circles within Arendelle. I believe we have routed most of them, and I believe for the time, those who are in attendance at the college are now seeing reason and seeing our side. But without proper tutelage and without proper headmaster, they're still at a bit of a loss. So we are still in the process of that. But we have 3 candidates, at least, who are skilled and seemingly have passed through Alexander's and the rest of our council's scrutiny. And hopefully will see us through as headmaster and as arcane advisors to the council.
Sure, we'd be interested to meet them. Verdantia is going through not so severe, but a similar issue as well.
Yes, we had heard that they had hired someone with, I believe, your recommendation. I had received word from Reverence Kane, that a new position had been filled.
His name's Damascus, and he's awesome. Found him in the Kel. He's formerly trained in Marrakesh. Do I have that right?
He's
Yeah.
very strong and resistant to firebolts, just
Magic missiles.
magic missiles. Yeah.
Battle.
He worked in the what's it called, Kyle? What was the place that
The Sapphire Academy.
Yes,
That's it.
I was trying to find it in my notes and I could not. Trained in the Sapphire Academy for many years, although he'd been missing for about a decade. Not necessarily his fault.
Yes, some of that was passed along from Reverend Kane, but he seems to still be on somewhat of a probation within there. Admittedly, a smart move to in these days to not blindly trust those with power.
If you want someone who can root out untruthfulness, lies, mendacity, Hondo the Blue had a read on Raymond from day one. And I bet he'd be willing to put his powers of truth and good to use.
Alexander actually nods and says, I actually think that's a surprisingly good idea. Master Blue, he kind of gestures to you, says, you're never one to mince words. If something is awry, you say it. If someone is a dick, you say it. If someone is an evil backstabbing wizard, you get a good read.
Huh?
Perhaps we invite our 3 candidates to dinner this evening, and you could suss out anything you suss out.
I like this idea, if I can smell a piece of shit from a mile away.
That's unfortunate, but I get your reference. If any kind of gestures to the king, if it satisfies your liege, then perhaps we could have that arranged. Malcolm nods immediately. Says, this is going smoothly. Why can't all council meetings be this way?
God, I love the sound of this already. It's going to be so much fun.
Admittedly, we maybe this is something for tomorrow after we talk to these individuals as well. I don't know what the status of, or the safety is of a lot of what's in that tower. We've only been the one time to one small room, but given our ability to jump around, I just looked at the rest of the group, we should look into some kind of teleportation thingy. What's it called? The circle thing?
Alexander nods once more and says, we have hit somewhat of a snag in that department. Unfortunately, Raymond, as we have come well documented, is a conniving piece of shit. Several layers of his tower are warded and locked away by those who do not know his ways. The one thing Raymond we may say about him is he's a skilled arcanist. We had one student attempt to try and teleport to the teleportation circle without proper preparations, and we have not heard from them since. Perhaps that's something else you could attend to.
Something we could at least take a look at. We have a wide
love-
variety of abilities here.
I'd love to learn more about what turned him, what brought him down this path, whoever he was tinkering in that tower. We know he had those soul gems that he was toying with, so I think that'd be something we'd be interested in.
Yeah, you had mentioned those to me way back. Yeah, I wonder if they're still here, still there. Perhaps it's not it, but if they're gone and other things of value are still remaining, perhaps that is a sign. But as I say, getting up into the upper layers of the tower is a task of your level, I believe. Something we have yet to truly prod into. The first, he kind of just thinks, first 3-4 layers, levels of the tower are accessible, and the students and our 3 potential, our short list here, they have still been operating within those, but there are the teleportation circle, the headmaster's quarters, the proper laboratories, and much of Raymond's worth still lies up within.
Would you like us to blow up the tower?
No, actually, no. Preferably no. No,
Thank you for asking ahead of time, though, Hondo. That's growth.
that is growth. We would prefer to maintain the college in its entirety, and ultimately hope that the college will continue to be an academy of higher learning for the arcane arts. That's still a pinnacle and a point of pride within our city. It's now just been somewhat stained by his history.
Perhaps we could even, depending on how this dinner goes, but take those 3 students along with us. I don't know if that's a terrible idea or a good idea.
Somewhat worrying, but it would be trial by fire, as they say. With you by their side, I at least feel a little safer.
Could just be interesting maybe to test them, to tempt them, see what they do, see what they know.
Precisely. At the very least, I think a simple conversation this evening would suffice to begin. I don't recommend tackling this tower immediately. Perhaps take some time.
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe after the holidays.
Sure. The tower and our resources are at your disposal. Of course, if you find any of us here, we would be happy to aid you. And of course, Colton and Galdrin can aid any requests that you have. Just send a missive within the halls, and we will do what we can as quickly as we can.
Maybe we could catch up with some of your friends, Alexander. We haven't seen them in a while.
I actually think that is quite a good idea. I have someone I'd like you to meet. A friend, an old friend. 2 of them, in fact. I think, and he kind of looks at Hondo and he says, I think you'll get along with them quite well. Perhaps he kind of looks to Malcolm and says, perhaps I will deal with some of this business now and you can return. And Malcolm says, yes, of course. A pleasure, of course. We'll speak more at dinner. Again, thank you for everything you've done.
I was going to say our pleasure. A lot of it wasn't pleasure, but you're welcome.
Of course. I will continue to sing your praises this evening. But I bid you adieu for now. And he kind of bows his head ever so slightly, scritches Ulrich once more, and then goes to leave. Alone with Alexander, he kind of looks about you all and says, who wants to go to the black market?
Cool, yeah.
Yes.
That would tickle your fancy. Come on.
I think that I could find my present there.
Who are you buying for? You're not allowed to say.
I'm not allowed to say.
Alexander, unless you have any other business or any other things you want to speak about, begins leading you out of Whitethorn Hall, and it's a long journey back towards Lower Arendelle, making your way all the way back towards the Grand Bazaar and towards the marketplace. Along the way, though, he kind of hangs back to Mary and just kind of gives you just a little nudge and says, I think I did thank you for saving my life, but I'll thank you again.
You got me coffee. That was pretty great.
A small token. But
I still owe you a drink. We should catch up. I don't know when. We'll see how long this dinner goes.
I think this dinner would be more entertainment for us to watch. As he kind of nods his head towards Hondo and he says, he's probably going to try and kill somebody. And that's always fun.
Oh, either that or he's going to get hilariously drunk.
Or both.
Both are entertaining.
I can't guarantee anything.
He smiles and says, a drink would be excellent. A time to properly catch up and properly thank you.
Oh shit, what time of day is it actually? How long have we been here? Because we slept in, right?
You guys slept in. It takes a fucking long time to walk up and down from Arendelle, both sides. It's probably getting to late afternoon.
I was just curious. From where we are when we're like on the top looking down, is there ever any point where we can see the bay and we could see if we could see our boat, if it's there?
Yeah, if you want to go and make a perception check as you're kind of making a walk and you kind of think halfway. There's several points very up as you kind of go to leave Whitethorn Hall and are kind of making your way back between Whitethorn Hall and the temple, where there's kind of a clear shot to look down into the bay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Well, the 13 plus... never remember what my perception is. 6. So,
19?
Yes.
You're pretty sure you see it. You're pretty sure you can see it kind of tucked off to the side, based on the kind of darker looking paint and wood that separates it from the rest of the ships. But it's kind of it's a very far distance away, and you're just kind of like, I'm pretty sure, based just solely on the fact that it's slightly darker than the rest, I think that's our boat. But you're not 100% sure, honestly.
I'd make a point to like point it out to Lavender. I'll approach Lavender and just kind of make a point to like kind of sort of pick her side and, you know, point out the boat. And just when we're like slightly away from each other, people start catching up, I nod back to where Alexander was and just say, first time meeting him, what do you think?
He seemed pretty nice. He seemed to really like you guys a lot.
I take a quick smile and just lean in and quietly say, good, because he's your boss's boss. And I'll walk away.
Oh.
I'll walk towards Mary after she walks away. Hey. I'll like nudge her with friend's wink.
Yeah, I look up at you awkwardly. Yeah.
You're so nosy.
I'll kneel down, like lean in, be like, do you remember in the Platinum Sanctuary one time you gave me this big speech about not waiting too long?
Vaguely. Look up. Jerry.
Just thinking about it lately. And then I'll just wink and like trot for a little farther forward.
Maybe you should take your own advice.
Hi. Glance at Brawley, glance forward.
Within the, honestly, hour it takes to get all the way back around, it's kind of annoying. Just before you cross from Upper to Lower Arendelle, you watch Alexander kind of look at you all for a moment, just kind of quickly taking you all in, and he just kind of like brushes his hand across his like this brilliant green kind of suit that he's wearing, and it just flutters and it all changes to a kind of like sharkskin gray, like darker, like half suit, but like more armor looking pieces, and there's some like dark black, almost leather elements to it, almost like the kind of armor that the Evenfall Council would wear, but half, not armor, half suit.
Semi-formal.
Yeah, exactly.
Labby like.
Do you say that out loud?
And then I'm just like, works.
Kind of winks at you and just says, it's good stuff. I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah, no, I was just talking about the armor. It's just really cool.
Just better for appearances to not look all, kind of looks at Valentine. Perhaps we just continue.
Totally. And then I'm just gonna walk away.
Suddenly very happy that I actually used this hat.
Mm-hmm.
Just stare at her in horror. What's wrong with you? You're being super weird.
Alexander, after this hour-long journey, leads you within the kind of tall columns of the Grand Bazaar. Most of you, as we said before, have been in here before, and it is just like basically a flea market. There are just stalls and like canvas roofed kind of tents that people are selling stuff in. There's just shouting on all sides. There's a middle kind of section of baskets full of fruits and spices and stuff and who knows, everything. There's just people of all kinds all around just shouting and trying to sell and pitch their wares. It smells weirdly really good, and then every now and again you get a weird pungent, like real spice smell. But Alexander kind of looks around, seems to spy somebody on the upper second level of this place, and kind of looks at you and just says, just wait here 1 second, I'll be right back. And he rushes up, and you watch him. He doesn't hide it or anything. He rushes up to a second level, and you see him interact with this darker skinned woman in these kind of purple, this purple kind of blouse over top of just like simple like leathers and leather pants, and she's got this long black hair. And they kind of have a brief discussion. You can see there are like several rings on each of her fingers that kind of glitter in the light. And you can see that despite the cold and it's an open kind of bazaar, there are many, many, many fires. She doesn't seem to wear anything against that. She's just kind of in this like flourishing like light garb despite the cold. But he follows down, and she comes directly behind him. And kind of he gestures to her and says, for those of you who have never met Mistress Jasmine Oladren, she's the purveyor of this fine establishment. Also a very kind friend of mine, and a go-between for interesting things.
We're interesting, and we like interesting things.
This is true. She looks you up and down and looks at Mary and gives a knowing nod and says, Alexander here says, says you're cool. Follow me. And she kind of leads you around the far corner, around the staircase that leads up. And she just kind of pulls a sash, and beneath the staircase, this it just fades away, like the wall just kind of disappears, and she just kind of bustles in, and as she makes her way around, you watch these two huge guys, like one definitely part fucking troll or ogre or something.
Oh,
this guy is massive, just steps in front, kind of blocks sight, and you guys kind of slip in behind him. And in underneath, and there's this kind of spiraling staircase, and you can see a secondary, still relatively bustling and warmly lit, smaller market. You can just see a couple of smaller stalls and carts, just like holding things up. It's certainly quieter, but there's faint like music being played. You can see there's a bard of some kind off to the corner, but he's playing a single viol or violin, and 3 other instruments are kind of floating around him playing themselves. And you can see just like faint dancing lights around the space. And Jasmine just kind of gestures openly and kind of stands up on this loft area overlooking the whole space. Alexander turns to you and says, I've never properly thanked all of you for all of your work. A little bit of gold here and there, sure, but we have some connections through Evenfall, well, what's left of Evenfall. This little place. You'll find purveyors of many interesting things. It may take some time, but they can find most anything you're looking for the right price. And with me, the price is always right. Come. He kind of scans across and points, and you see 2 figures at a large kind of fire pit. And there's like several like stones and logs around this kind of fire pit. And they're both just kind of sitting there. One, you see a halfling male. He's in this kind of tattered looking leather trench coat that kind of covers his body. And he's sitting and he's kind of twirling a dagger and picking at something, like whittling a piece of wood. And behind him, kind of doing something you can't see from this distance, you see a dark dark gray with like lines across the fur of a tabaxi. And they're both just kind of off there. He says, them. So, little one's name is Rabbit. Cat one's name is Jinx. They, I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to allow you to do this yourselves. But say you're friends, and for a little bit of gold, they can find most anything you're looking for. And yeah, I'm sure you'll find something you'll like.
Give him a bit of a suspicious look.
He kind of cocks his head and says, some legacy to the old job.
Hondo, be cool, okay? Do you want to go first? Is there anything you're looking for?
I'm looking for a ring or amulet or some sort of device that will allow me to speak to anyone in any language.
Well, don't tell me, pal. Go talk to those peeps.
Hey, you can go as a group. You don't have to go individually. Just be easy.
Can I just I'll quickly nudge Mary's shoulder? Is Jasmine the woman who gave you your goggles way back when?
Yeah, I've known her for a long time. She keeps an eye out for a lot of people here.
I think I remember seeing you talk to her and not knowing what it was, but then you popped in with those goggles. Man, it feels like forever ago.
It all feels like forever ago.
I can't wait for Hondo to ruin this for us. You ready?
Oh God, I swear. We've so many strings, so many attachments here.
Alexander just kind of chuckles, pats Hondo's shoulder, and then he makes his way back up the stairs and just kind of sits and chats with Jasmine, and the two of them are just kind of shooting the shit. Although, as you guys begin to step away, the two of them shooting the shit, Hondo, you pick up, and Mary, you pick up. The rest of you, they're kind of shooting the shit, but like talking weird all of a sudden. Hondo and Mary, you pick up a little bit of thieves' cant between the two. You don't pick up anything interesting in what they're saying, but the way they're speaking to one another is more the interest. The rest of you, they're suddenly speaking really in like double talking and suddenly not coherently and smoothly as Alexander normally does. But nonetheless, you guys begin to make your way down into this somewhat seedy, interesting black market area.
Before we leave, can I go up the stairs and just in thieves can't tell them we're off now, we'll see you later?
Absolutely.
Showing off so you can understand what they're saying.
Oh my God, I love that.
Alexander smiles wide and says, have fun.
Which means go fuck yourself if you can't. All right, why did you actually have a thing? I might have to think of what I want. Why don't you talk to Jinx and Rabbit? Hondo.
We may as well go as a group, but
yeah, sorry, I meant him go first.
Yeah.
You begin making your way across. They're kind of midway down. It's only a few minutes, not even a few minutes, but the two of them are sat as I described. But Rabbit, as soon as you kind of make your way slowly down the stairs, he stops like whittling and just kind of puts his stuff on his lap and just eyes you as you make your way forward. Jinx doesn't seem to pay any mind. He's just kind of idly working and doing something behind Rabbit. But Rabbit's eyes are trained directly onto Hondo, who I assume is pushing forward. As you guys are kind of set, he's the only one who has something. As he kind of looks you up and down as you make your way approach.
All right, so I'll walk up to him and say, "Good day, Rabbit."
Hello.
I've been told you are the one to talk to about a specific item I'm looking for.
Perhaps. Why don't you take a seat?
Thank you.
You know my name, and I don't know yours just yet.
Yes. I am Hondo the Blue. I'm more infamous on the seas than on land, but...
merchant vessel or otherwise?
Merchant, pirate, I don't put labels on my ships.
No. One wouldn't want to put labels on things such as that, of course. What be something you're looking for?
Well, you see, in my business, I talk to many people, and I have to talk in many different languages. But sometimes, you come across someone you cannot communicate with. So I'm hoping for some sort of item that will allow me to talk to anyone in any language.
All right. So something not single use, something that you want to be able to pull out at a moment's notice.
Yes.
All right. Well, I can think of a couple of things that could work for you. He kind of looks past you and sees the group at large and says, well, if any of you are with him, come on, take a seat.
I'll saddle up. Look at Lav, look at Brawley, Mary, Gordo. You guys know what you want to ask for?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, thanks. Hello, Mr. Rabbit.
Just Rabbit.
Okay. Miss
Just Rabbit.
Rabbit. I was wondering if you know anything that, how do I say? See this picture of this place? Looks like a beautiful place. Do you have anything that could relate or tell me what this place is? I know that is so hard to understand, but this is a place.
That's a weird request.
Do you want to tell them what that place
May
is?
I?
I don't know what it is. Yes, you can. Here, just don't flip to page 73.
He immediately starts flipping to 73.
It's
Is 73 naked Hondo?
Yeah.
He looks at it for a second, looks up at Hondo.
The proportions may be a little off. He paid me a little extra.
Respect. Flips back to the initial drawing. And he kind of looks it over and says, you're quite good. That's not bad.
Thank you.
Truthfully, this means nothing to me, but Jinx, the cat, for the first time, the tabaxi, turns and you can see he is a tabaxi face, though you have a tabaxi in the party. You haven't seen a tabaxi face in quite a while beneath the helmet. You can see a large scar across the face, kind of cutting through the one eye, which is now gone milky white. But one still kind of like orangey yellow cat's eye. He kind of looks you all over with a nod, gestures down to the painting.
We're going to get a roll, baby.
Been so few rolls in this game. It's just been
Just RP and talking. And...
RP and like wholesomeness and tears.
It's nice.
Tears for days.
I gotta pull up his stats. Hang on.
Jinxie.
Do you just want to tell any viewers who might be wondering what the drawing is, what it is?
The drawing is, if you guys haven't watched, is of this crazy, beautiful pink world. It's like pink and purple and looks like cloudy cotton candy, and there's like, but it's just so beautiful. And then you look off into the distance, and flowing right next to this river, there's this woman sitting there on a rock, and it's Lavender's mom. And she got a chance to speak with her for a moment's time, and she chose to not stay.
Yeah, instead of join her. That was a vision you had with the
Raven Queen.
Raven Queen.
Yeah, that was a vision in death that you saw.
So I don't know she's dead.
Where's she at?
In the session where Amanda had to leave, go to bed before she actually got killed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember. Oh yeah, that one. Fuck me.
That was fun news for Scott to deliver the next day.
Wakey.
I'm always like, did I die? Well, I gotta go to bed.
Jinx, with the one good eye, quickly scans through all of you and then looks at Lavender, looks Lavender up and down in this like long scrutinizing move, and then looks back at the drawing, snaps the book closed, and hands it back to Rabbit. Rabbit takes it, says, "You might know something for a price."
Insight check.
Of course. You say insight check?
Yeah, I want to know if he's lying.
Sure.
Smart. I'll take my book back
Yeah, he did. Sorry, gesture it back to you. But then Leah immediately, it was like insight check. So I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I'll take my book back.
Yeah, he hands the book back immediately to you.
26.
There seems to be something he has to offer.
We are friends of Alexander and Jasmine. We'd be happy to pay a fair price.
You come
Of
highly
course.
recommended.
Well, I appreciate the recommendation, and of course, you will get the family price.
Kind.
And for information, I admit information will come much cheaper than some acquisition. As he kind of nods his head towards Hondo. I suppose before we continue with anything, I see, this fine fellow here is something he's in need of, and obviously this young lady here is in need of some information. I'm sure there's something for each of you that you're looking for that we could provide. But there's something I must ask first. Of anybody I make a deal with, and anybody I wish to make a deal with, who wishes to deal with me, must first partake of something that I've found in my travels and my curiosities. He kind of turns to the side, opens this small chest, and he pulls out a small, like, almost what would be like a jewelry box, like like one of those like velvet ones, but it is. It's not velvet. And he kind of tilts it open and sets it on this small table in front of him. And each of you look in and see there are about 8, maybe, or 9, sorry, of these small, like cookies, like little pastries. They're like 4 corners and like kind of bunched up like a fortune cookie. And they're black. And he says, these little tidbits, well, in truth, where the fuck were we? He kind of looks over Jinx. Where the fuck were we when we got these? Jinx just kind of shrugs. Well, it doesn't matter where we were. But it's, they have been a source of intrigue to me for many, many years. And I've always been curious, by everybody I make a deal with, what fate has in hand for them. I want to know what kind of luck I'm dealing with. So, you want to make a deal? You eat a cookie. Seems pretty straightforward.
What's happened to the last people who ate those cookies?
No idea. Never saw
No
them
idea.
again. No.
Sounds like bad luck.
Hasn't been for me.
Do you want us all to eat a cookie or just one of us?
Anyone who makes a deal. Anyone who wants something.
Can I do an investigation check on a cookie?
Sure.
Like, have I seen these before, heard about them before?
You've never seen or heard of these before, to anybody, collectively. This is something weird. You can do an investigation check to, like, suss out if it feels weird, or, like, you can try and just get any kind of reading you can get off it. I'd let you do it.
That's a 19 on the dice.
And
Yeah.
investigations plus 11.
Yeah, that's a solid 30.
It's a cookie, man.
At 30.
It's a black cookie, which is weird and somewhat unsettling. And you can just see on the corner of one of them, you can just see a faint corner of what looks like parchment kind of sticking out of it. But it smells like kind of sugary, kind of bland. Doesn't smell like poison.
Yeah, so anyone who makes a deal has a cookie? Sounds fair.
I'll take it.
You go ahead and grab one. Roll a d20 for me.
Instant kill.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Whoa,
Double
19
19s
again.
for the kid.
Potted plant.
Honda, as you crack the cookie, and it's brittle like a fortune cookie. You kind of sniff it. It's kind of kind of tastes like shit. Like it's not great, but like it's also not horrible. Like it's just kind of like bland, but then it's kind of caught this kind of weird kind of ashy taste to it. And you can kind of, you can kind of, there's something about it, and it just kind of faintly like burns, or it's just a faint kind of stench. And it's just kind of weird. And you take a look at the little piece of parchment, and you can see it's blank. And then as you kind of finish eating the cookie, you see writing kind of flare on it. And it says, "The stench of failure burns your nostrils." Rabbit kind of leans up and over and says, "What's it say?"
It says, "The stench of success burns your nostrils."
I know it doesn't say that.
I love that you said something different. That's epic.
I know what each of these are going to say. I've seen them all come up before. It's interesting. Huh? Anyone else?
Lav, you gonna have a cookie?
I'll take one.
Roll d20.
As she's like taking one, I'm gonna try to use the distraction to go on my earring.
Mhm.
And hope I didn't check if Alexander had his in, and just say in like my quiet or like elvish thieves' cant that we use normally. Just be like, "Is this cookie bullshit normal? Is he trying to get one over on us?"
Make a stealth check. Lavender, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Oh wait, plus what? Right?
No.
Just d20.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You crack yours, and you eat the
I first cast prestidigitation, so it doesn't taste like shit.
Okay. And it does. It just kind of tastes super bland. There's no reaction. It kind of tastes weird. And you look at the piece of paper now, and it says, "Hasty hands make for quick lives."
Mm.
And Rabbit kind of just like, what's it say?
It says hasty hands make for quick lives, and that actually is pretty good advice because I was thinking of stealing some stuff while we were in this town, but maybe that was too hasty.
Oh, I think that's very apt. That might fit you.
Have you heard that one before?
I've heard all of these before. Made many deals. That's just interesting. I just find it very interesting.
I find it very generic.
Well, you're generic.
That's brutal.
What? That comment was generic and uninspired. Whoever is writing this has been doing this for too long.
That's very possibly true. Like I say, in truth, I've seen every one of these come up, and I've seen some of them. Some of them have played out.
I thought you said you never saw any of the people again.
So a little bit of deception.
Well, can I ask you if you'd be able to find something I'm looking for before I have one of these cookies?
Sure. Mary, you hear in your earring. It's weird, but it's fine.
All right.
He says, "What is it you're looking for?"
I'm searching for knowledge. I have this, and I'll take out Ethereus and just like set it across my lap.
That's nice.
Thank you. I also have this. I'll reach in my bag of holding and take out the broken crescent chunk of Heartbreaker.
Mm.
Well, that's less nice.
Well, depends who you ask. Is there any way that from this blade and this broken blade, there's a way to combine them through the arcane into one?
I'll be frank with you. I'm not even going to charge you for that one. I truly don't know. That's not something that's not my area of expertise.
No, I appreciate your forthrightness.
I'm more in the acquiring of things and of interesting knowledge, like your young lady friend here.
Don't be too hasty acquiring those things.
Well, now you're just
We
playing
all
it up.
learned something today.
You're just playing it up now. It's not as fun.
Well, maybe I'll think of something else that might be interesting, and you could talk to one of my other friends here.
Please.
I'm looking for something a little more material.
Perfect. It's more my area. What are you looking for?
Materials. Pull out my bottle that has a tablespoon left of black powder because I've used 99%. We these came with a ship that we acquired, but I'm running low.
Yeah, this is certainly more in my game. Please keep that over there. I know that stuff has a bit of a kick.
Oh, trust me. And I pull it away and then put the arrow away that I still have one explosive arrow left.
Just in case.
How much you looking for?
Oh, well, we have a bag here that can carry an awful lot of stuff without it blowing up on us.
I see that. You got two of them, in fact.
One of them's a little full of, you don't want to know what's in the other one. And I don't say that in terms of, oh, it's mysterious, it's disgusting, you do not want to know.
Fair enough. But in truth, how much you looking for?
Just Kyle, how much is would be manageable? Is one of those little kegs, have we seen that's something?
You did a fair amount of work with one of those kegs.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can ask for, if you were to try and get enough for a ship to load up a ship to fire cannons, you need a lot more than one of those little kegs for experimentation and for ease of travel and use and not having a whole bunch of explosives. Those smaller kegs would be a lot easier.
Well, I'm thinking they came with some pretty big barrels of the stuff. I could probably split that up on my own if I have one of those. I'm thinking just for Kyle's sake. Because there were big barrels of them that we found, and we put them
think of a full keg, a big keg, and then a mini keg.
I'm thinking big keg left in my basement or somewhere safe like that, and then I can take a little bit and work slowly off of it. Is my thought.
Good idea.
I'm not planning on sharing it with the ship. I want to make stuff.
Yeah. It says it's that could be a bit of a tall order. I admit it's not easy to get your hands on.
I mean, to be honest,
but it's not in a ton,
Yeah, I'd take anything. Like I said, we've been running them for a while, and it's quite useful if you know how to work with it.
No, I have seen it's got its uses, that's for sure. Okay. My kind of just points at the cookie though.
Take a fucking cookie.
Okay, roll a d20.
7. Oh.
You crack the cookie and just pull the paper and read the paper. And it just says, look behind you.
Take a really big sigh. So Terry, slowly and look over my fucking shoulder.
I don't see anything.
This is, oh God, this is going to piss me off for the rest of the day, isn't it?
Why would it say?
Oh, it's going to piss you off for a lot longer than that.
Should just show it to Valentine.
I look behind me. What am I supposed to see?
I think it's just installing paranoia.
But you already have paranoia. So
I know. I'm consistently watching my back, but
yeah, that's a common one we get around here. I feel like you fit in a fair amount. Anyways, I see a couple more members of your group. Any other ideas you're looking to put forth? Perhaps I could... sorry, Ali, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
He says, perhaps I could show you some of what we have on hand here.
That's
Just
cool.
as a couple of things we have, we keep on ourselves all the time. Or things we've picked up along the way, I should say.
What were you going to say, though, Bradley? Did you think of something?
No, I was actually going to inquire if there was any medium armor.
Medium armor, just regular medium armor?
Yeah.
He just kind of says, if you're looking for just armor, there's plenty of shops out there that can get you some. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit tougher. Perhaps we could seek something out.
Can you still rage in medium armor?
Yes, medium. It's heavy. I can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
Can I eat a cookie?
If you're looking to put some money down and say you're interested, of course. He pulls the box over towards you.
Okay.
All right. You take a cookie, roll a d20.
That's also a 19.
Okay. You read the exact same thing as Honda. The stench of failure burns your nostrils.
Ouch.
Look behind.
Gord, did you have anything specific you wanted to ask these fine two
Merchants?
people? Merchants, thank you.
Entrepreneurs.
No?
No?
Perhaps my stoic friend and I might see your wares.
Of course. Perhaps it'll be spark something in either of you. And yeah, let's just see. He kind of looks you up and down and says, I got a couple of things I think that might interest you, but as the group as a whole. He flips open the chest that he had at his side where he pulled out the cookies. Flips it open and kind of flips out 6 like smaller like things off either side, like smaller drawers. And he says, I've only got a handful of things left over on me person today, but I've got some rather interesting ink for any of your ink-related needs. I've got this coat that kind of functions similar to your bags you got on your hips there. But he kind of gestures to the cloak he's wearing, and he kind of slips his hand inside into like a breast pocket, and he pulls out like a massive long sword out of the breast pocket. He says, comes in handy. He kind of puts it back in. He pulls out 2 things. He pulls out a pair of gloves, and he says, for when you're getting shot by things and you'd rather not, these will come in handy. Slaps them down. And he has this small silver ring, and you can see there's kind of a green, what looks like a green band within an emerald that kind of curls up, and it's kind of got like a faint bird's face on it. And he says, he kind of holds this up, kind of twirls it around on his finger and says, this is for when, when you got to get out of dodge, don't want to get hurt. You want to use this. Sets it down. And then he says, and this is a personal favorite, actually. This was a fucking pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. And he grabs it and pulls it out. And it's a thick cloak. And says, kind of shakes it free, stands up, shakes it free. You can see this long cloak. And you can see it's like, almost like panther fur. It's kind of this thin, short coat, almost like oily looking, but like nice. And you can see it's got a thick hood on it. You can see these kind of faint kind of striations on it, but at each coming down from each lapel that hangs down and ends in these kind of weird ovals, you see like 2 almost like blackish tentacles that end in these ovals, and you can see on them like this long kind of grabby purplish like tendril-ish bits. And he says, like I say, this was a pain in the ass to get, but certainly does the trick when you don't want to get hit. So for your guys' out of game,
I was gonna say we've all been guessing in the chat.
I can see some coming up. Gloves of missile snaring, a ring of evasion, cloak of displacement, and the other 2 are some homebrew items. The smuggler's coat is like a bag of holding, but in a coat, and not quite as big as it's more like a Hewitt's handy haversack than it is like a bag of holding. So it's a little smaller. Each of the pockets contain up to about 2 cubic meters of stuff, but there are several of them. So it can't contain a bunch of stuff in one. We got lots of smaller ones.
Like a duster jacket?
Yeah, exactly. And the first is called Editor's Ink. It's got some interesting uses. Hang on.
That sounds really cool.
Ink. Editor's ink, and he kind of gestures to it, and it looks like a regular ink well. It's got a certain number of uses within. It can be used to write any implement, with any implement, write a message or a letter. Pardon me. However, when you finish, you can speak the command word, and what you've written becomes instantly invisible to anybody but the person you intend to be read by. Alternatively, you can use it to manipulate writing that has already been written. When the ink touches the parchment, it reshapes the words and ink that was previously there, filling in gaps and kind of shaping the letters to become what you want them to say. You make a performance check to accurately kind of mimic the script of the previous writer, and on a success, it looks almost exact. It's like completely like white out and then new writing, but it looks perfect. Proficiency with calligrapher's tools or forgery kit gives you advantage on that check.
Cloak of Displacement, Hondo, if you wanted to know more about that.
Yeah, you can pull them up in D&D Beyond.
Your eyes are going wide. It says, requires attunement. That's the only thing. While you wear this cloak, it projects an illusion that makes you appear to be standing in a place near your actual location, causing any creatures to have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. If you take damage, the property ceases to function until the start of your next turn. This property is suppressed while you are incapacitated, restrained, or otherwise unable to move.
Rare.
It is rare.
It is rare.
Which of these are all attuned, Kyle?
I think Cloak is attuned, Ring of Evasion is attuned. I don't know about gloves. Hang on. I can pull them up real fast.
Gloves and missile snaring are so cool, but I never have a free hand. So it needs to be for someone who has a free hand.
Missile snaring is attuned. He also says, and not to discount my friend Jinx here, Jinx is, he kind of gestures to Lavender, says, Jinx is quite the artist himself. If any of you are so inclined. He has a specialty in tattoos.
Is this what I think it is?
It's a little different than Matt's, but...
Oh, but it's still really cool.
If you're looking for some ink that gives you a little bit... Well, I got a couple different options for some interesting tattoos.
I would be interested, yes.
I'm down.
I'm also down for purely aesthetics, but
I like
also...
you raise your tattooed arm there, Brawley.
Oh, yeah. I'm down.
Hang on. Cloak of Displacement. Cloak of Displacement is attuned. Gloves of Missnaring are attuned. Ring of Evasion certainly is attuned.
Yep, I just checked on that guy.
Well, none of us have any attunement slots left.
All the cool stuff is attunable.
I know.
Totes.
So for tattoo purposes, Jinx can do 1, 2, 3.
Barbed wire.
He can do
Around your arm.
in somewhat more or less however you want the design to be, but each of these has different components or abilities to them. Let me pull them
Oh,
specifically.
Give you cool powers.
cool.
So he can do 2 different kinds of absorbing tattoos. The tattoos also require attunement.
Mm-hmm.
While the tattoo is on your skin, you have resistance to a type of damage associated with the color. He can do psychic resistance or acid resistance. In addition to the resistance, when you take damage of the chosen type, you can use your reaction to gain immunity to that instance of damage. So you can instantly negate that full damage, and you regain a number of hit points equal to half the damage you would have taken.
Jesus.
Once it's used, you can't use it until the next dawn.
Cool.
He also has something called a masquerade tattoo. Masquerade tattoo lets you cast Disguise Self once as an action, just for free. And it also allows you, basically, as a bonus action, you can reshape the tattoo into any color or pattern and move it anywhere on your skin. It's like a floating tattoo, wherever and whatever you want. It takes whatever shape you want, and it gives you a free disguise self.
Cool.
Absorbing, Masquerade, and then Spell Rot tattoos. Basically, he's got... that's a duplicate. He's got 2 Spell Rot tattoos that basically give you a spell within the tattoo. But let me pull up the specifics of it.
Nice. Jinxie cat. You say, what does it spell?
Spell Rot.
Like WR.
OUGHT.
Not ROT, which sounds very scary.
No, so the tattoo glows faintly while you cast a spell. Once the spell ends, it just gives you that spell that you can cast once a day. They do have set DCs. It's not your DC necessarily. If there was something that had a DC based on the rarity, and it's only a spell of 1 to 5th level, and I have a couple that are previously selected by his ability. So you could get a spell tattoo of darkness, a spell tattoo of blink, and I had something else written here, but I need to go back and change it. Because I did a duplicate of something else. That's stupid. So those are his offerings as well.
Darkness and blink, those are the 2?
Darkness or blink. And there is a last one.
Think about like the darkness. It looks like the tattoo like comes off your arm and just like envelops you in dark. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't have any attunement slots for free. Otherwise, I would super.
He's got major image as well.
Major image. So it was darkness, blink, major image, not like darkness and blink.
No, it is. Those are 3 separate tattoo instances.
I imagine they'd be at different prices too, because they're different level spells.
That's right. Yep.
Let me look up blink.
I will say the absorbing tattoos are the most expensive. Masquerade tattoo is medium expensive, and the spell rot tattoos are cheap to expensive based on level.
Cool.
So Rabbit looks to you all and says, he's got quite some skill there, and seem to see some interest on some of those faces out there. I suppose the only one I haven't talked to who's in interest of anything would be you, and he kind of comes back to Valentine.
Jinx and his tattoos kind of interest me.
But no items other than what we got here? Nothing you want us to suss out?
Nothing I can think of offhand. I might have to come back if I was to think of anything, but just had a couple of days where not really thinking about stuff straight.
I understand. It'll take us a couple of days to get this stuff together anyways, so there'll be a time for you to come and pick out anything up we can find if any of you are interested in ordering.
Okay. Maybe I'll take the night to think about it.
Of course. Take all your time you need. We're always here. Except when we're not.
Hondo, did any of these things interest you?
Oh, I think, the tattoos were interesting. I'll have to think about them, though. You know, the ring is the priority, or the whatever amulet ring, whatever it is. But they all seem very cool. I'll need to think about it, though. The attunement is a bit troubling.
It's the cloak. Sorry, the jacket wasn't attuned, right? That one would be cool for you, Kev.
That's just like a bag of holding.
But you could put, you know how you have that vial that you carry by your crotch that's gonna explode one of these days? Like you could put that in there, and you don't have to worry about exploding. It's like your own bag of holding.
The jacket I could definitely be swayed to purchase. Yes.
Hey, well, he kind of gestures to the one he's wearing and says, "It's a good coat, I have to say, and I have one right in your size."
You look dashing, I will tell you that. So
flattery will get you everywhere.
I'm very.
Can you make it look like his fancy captain's jacket? That's the real question.
Fuck yeah, you can.
A little bit of time. I think I could whip something up. It won't be immediate. You could get this one right now, but if you're willing to wait some time, I could probably get something a little fancier.
I can wait.
All right. So, let's get down to brass tacks then. We got some items you're interested in purchasing right here, and I got some items I think I could suss out for you. Let's talk price. What is it you guys are looking to, where any of the items you're looking to buy right now, from tattoos or the items I talked about?
I think for right now, I think it was probably, or unless Allie, did you have?
I do want to get one of the masquerade tattoos.
Cool.
Because there's been times where I've had to hide because I'm short and it's not going over well. So I'll get one of those, and then I was just going to inquire on the armor, but you said there wasn't one anyway, so that's fine.
Well, he doesn't have armor directly, but he can look for something.
Yeah.
Like same with Hondo's ring.
Okay. Yeah. So that's perfect.
Okay. Well, if you're interested in the masquerade tattoo, I suppose I'll do this in character. If you're interested in the masquerade tattoo, it's going to take a couple of hours. If you want to get comfy, you want to do it now, or you want to do it later?
Is anyone else getting one? Because I can come back.
No, we might have time before dinner. You might get a tattoo. Hondo could find his delicacy of the sea, get some wine for dinner, and then maybe be ready.
I would like a tattoo, but I'm just not sure which one.
Well, here, how about we do this? It's going to take us a couple of days to hunt down these items you're talking about. When you come to pick them up, we'll be set with the tattoos.
That sounds good.
Works for me.
So set aside a couple of hours, and but first we got to talk price, and we got to talk timelines.
I'd like the ring.
Ring of evasion. He looks at you and says, "Understood." Tall, dark, and handsome gets a ring. He pulls it back out of the thing and says, "Now this ring ain't cheap, and it does come with the discount of the family discount, but it's still going to run you 4,500 gold."
Money is no problem.
Brock does have the bag of holding full of gold.
He like leans back in his chair and looks at Jinx and is like, "Why didn't I say more?"
Because I'd be able to tell if you were pulling us over.
You're right. 4,500 gold ain't nothing to shake a stick at. It's good profit for me, and I'm happy to help out some new friends. He kind of puts his hand out looking for the money, and he has the ring in the other hand.
Let's do it.
Okay. You reach into the bag of holding and just gold, 4,500 gold. You have acquired a ring of evasion. Okay, cool. So that is that. Where's the strike through?
One ring to
Oh boy.
them off.
Strike.
And in the darkness, find them.
Okay, so
of what I'm picturing Allie's tattoo like.
ooh,
The deep cut reference.
Oh boy. Hopefully it's Tattoo by that band from the 2000s.
It's from 2005. Let me know if you get the reference.
Won't even load on my computer.
No,
I know.
you have to save it to your computer first.
like a whole weird thing.
Show and Finder.
No?
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Oh, Brawley's dead. Look at that.
Yo, what?
What's
Name that movie.
from?
What's that from?
I know it.
The 2005 Electra film. It's a classic.
Wake me up. Wake me up inside.
That's the
I
only
think I've
good
ever
part of that
seen
movie.
that. I don't think
Oh,
I've
it's
ever
great.
He
seen
has
You
like,
should watch it.
if I remember, I only ever saw it once, but he has like a tattoo on his body, and then he does something. It's like a wolf, and it like comes alive and like comes out off his body. I was trying to find the scene on YouTube, but I couldn't find it.
Multiple animals he can summon like that.
That's cool. I like it. So, Gord buys a ring of evasion. He says, gestures to Hondo and says, well, first things first. For the group, I shouldn't say he gestures to Hondo. For the group, It says, for my services, I require 50 gold retainer. For
50?
50 gold.
Sure.
Just for the amount of time it's going to take me to suss out all these items and get quotes and talk to people and make my travels, and perhaps we have to go and actually travel and cover some expenses. So 50 gold retainer for hunting down some of these wares.
Yep, done. I'll give him 50 gold from party funds.
Much obliged. And he kind of every day he just kind of keeps tucking the gold back into pockets in his jacket. He looks to Hondo and says, for you, unfortunately, I think this is going to have to be a special request. Have to be something that's going to have to get made. Now, it's your choice how fast you want that made, based on how much money you want to spend. At the very least, it's going to run, well, it's going to run you at least 3,000 gold.
For one item or both items?
For your ring of tongues or item of tongues. I have yet to decide how I'll make it.
It's like a little old lady queen brooch that you have to wear.
I'll lean into Hondo just as like his advisor. We can afford that, Hondo. I don't know if you remember almost dying in a dragon cave, but we can afford that.
How long will it take for you to do?
Well, that's the interesting part. So it's not me that's going to be doing it. It's me who's going to find you the broker, and I'm the broker. I'm going to have to find someone out there who's willing and able to enchant and make these kinds of things. And in truth, given the fuckstorm that's happened in this city, enchanting things has become a real fucking hassle. So it's going to cost a little bit of time. Hondo, can you roll me 2d6?
2d6.
Come on, buddy.
We do have time to kill, so this isn't something you need like right away.
No.
Great. Okay.
7.
Average?
Literal average.
He says, give me just over a week. Give me 8 days. I should be able to get it by then.
I'll give you 10 days, and I'll give you... Would you take 2,500 gold?
He says, is that all you're looking to buy? Just this ring? Or are you looking at something else?
Well, we were talking about the code as well, remember?
So, in this argument, perhaps you say 4,500 gold for the coat and the ring.
$42.
Make a persuasion check.
Here we fucking go. Haven't seen this in a while. You're good at persuasion, though.
Huh?
And I think my persuasion is it's 13.
Says, well, perhaps I just like the color blue. I could do that.
You have a deal.
42. Give me 10 days. I'll get you a ring. But here, and he kind of reaches down into the thing. Oh, he says, actually, sorry. Did you want me to try and see about making something special, or do you want this leather jacket?
If you could do a special one, more of a, my kind of.
Seeing as we're doing a group thing, I'll throw in the special tailoring for free.
I thank you.
But I need at least half up front.
No problem.
So 2,100 up front.
I hope you got that. Remember how in debt you were?
Yeah, I think I paid off my debts.
I think Gord paid off your debts.
Yeah, I think Gord did, yeah. Gord just silently accrues thousands of dollars.
Okay, so I do have it. It says here I have 4,600 gold, 750 silver, and 450 copper.
That's right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So 2,100 now, 2,100 on delivery for the ring and a tailored jacket. Ring and
are we sure this is up-to-date numbers?
Yes. Well,
You were the one responsible for tracking your gold.
It was. You guys got split all money from the horde that you last found. You haven't really received any money since you fought the dragon, like 6 weeks ago in real life.
No,
Actually,
I mean, like I think the last time, honestly, we split up. The last time we split up money was when we were in Haverfell, and then we got a little bit from the horde, but Scott has most of it. But like I'm looking at how much gold I have and like how much I spent in Haverfell because I bought a bunch of arrows and shit. Like it evens out to us each about having 4,000. So it's probably about right, Kev, because you haven't really spent much money lately.
True. There hasn't been much to spend on.
Yeah. Hondo hasn't got to barter with people in a very long time.
That's definitely right. I have $5,000 because I never spend money, and we have like gemstones from the Dragon Cave, and then some diamonds and stuff. But
so gems technically you could trade with other people or use as a proxy for gold, but keeping in terms of gold, it's just easier. So Hondo, ring or something of the spell tongues and a smuggler's coat with tailoring coming up. Gord bought the ring of evasion. Allie, you are going to get the masquerade tattoo.
Yes, yeah.
And you want to see about getting some medium armor.
Yeah.
What do we got for medium armor? So here, actually, that's what we can do. Go back to this.
Like +1 studded leather. Didn't we have? I have +1 studded leather.
Well, Ladner has studded leather of some kind.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so she might have our.
her.
Okay, so she might have my +1 studded leather then. My old stuff.
Yeah. Give me
I think the one that I have now is something you gave me, because my original stuff shattered.
Yeah.
And then
it got like disintegrated.
Yeah. So then you gave me, I think it was studded.
It would have been +1 then. So it's already like unless it's not in your character sheet properly.
I don't think that's.
We just bought Lav studded leather. It's not the +1 stuff.
Like I know, early on I purchased +1 studded leather and it was all my money, and that's what I'd been wearing until I got Blade of the
I mean,
Rock.
there's a chance that's the stuff that got destroyed.
After the desert, because I was wearing it up until the desert.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
We can
There'd be no
watch the
reason
old
for us not to, though. You know what I mean? Like, there'd be no reason for it not to be in already, because Allie went through like 3 different types of armor since we've been streaming or whatever.
plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I would say if she doesn't have it, she doesn't have it.
That's fair.
So we should buy some. We got money.
Yeah. So he says, hang on, let me get back to my page here. He says, armor's a little easier to come by. I'll give you that. It's going to get me a couple of days because, like I say, the whole enchanting thing is a bit of a pain in the ass. But if you're willing to go along same timeline as your friend here, 10 days, I can get you some +1. I can get you something a little hardier. Do you want studded leather? Is that what you want, Allie? Or would you prefer like a breastplate?
Whichever one. Does the breastplate also allow me to rage?
I think they're both medium.
They're both medium? Okay. What's the difference? Just look-wise?
I believe breastplate would be 14 plus dexterity plus 1. So for you, it'd bring you up to 17.
Okay.
Studded leather would be 13 plus 1.
Not as good.
So it's 1
Okay.
less.
Okay, I'll take the breastplate then.
That fits your aesthetic more anyway.
Hell
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Allie, Allie. He says, if you're willing to wait the 10 days with your friend here, I could do that for 1,500 gold.
Sure, I can do that.
Remember early days when we're like, oh my god, someone think it was 500 gold and we all balked at it.
I'm having to pitch in to buy Hondo lap dances at bars and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And in truth, it would be the same price for the tattoo you're interested in.
Okay.
But obviously, you don't have to pay for that until delivery, so don't have to worry about the tattoo price, but if you wish to pay for your breastplate up ahead, I'll ensure it's ready for you when the time comes.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And I'll hand over the gold.
Excellent. 10 days. Okay, that is Allie, Gord, Hondo, Mary, black powder, full keg. He says,
Or whatever they can get. I mean, I'm not too picky. I have nothing, so.
he says,
I would also want to tack on, I forgot, I was kind of looking earlier for a pair of sending stones too, if that's something that would make sense for here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If that's something you want to throw in there, let me see how much those were. Yeah, it says. Well, those come up relatively often, but we could get a pair of those. I can get you those for 2,500. I know it's a low price, but
I may need to borrow some money from Valentine.
Yeah, anything you need. I got you.
Okay, because like I spent all my money in Haverfell.
We got you.
And he says, in truth, however, I don't want to price you on the black powder until I know what I can get.
That's fair. Like I said, anything's better than the nothing I have now.
With the retainer you've paid, and now with the several thousand you've all paid, I will certainly take it into consideration in my search and in my reaching out to friends.
It might be something that could become an ongoing thing as well. It gets used.
Understood. So half up front for the old stones as well, though.
I can cover half. So sorry, it was 2,500. So what's that math? 12. Okay, yeah,
12.50 paid.
I can do that out of my own pocket.
Black powder is going to be searched for. Okay, Val, anything?
Not that I can think of. I'm good. I don't really need anything. How much did you need? Oh, we'll wait. We'll wait till he finds it and then figure out the price for.
Yeah.
Mary's.
So tattoos will be dealt with if you guys end up wanting tattoos, you can get them 10 days from now when this stuff all comes in. And that's everybody except Lavender, but Lavender's no longer here.
And she just wanted research. She didn't want anything else.
He says, perhaps I think that information we owe you upon delivery as well. That seems fair.
Feels fair.
And we'll think of the charge for how much we find.
We trust you. You gave us cookies, some good deals. Can't go wrong.
Hopefully none of those come to bite you in the ass.
Well, you got to look over your shoulder.
Right.
Shake my head so slowly.
You never did have one, did you?
Me? No.
You sure? He kind of gestures the box towards you.
Looks like you're running low.
Well, there's still 6 there. 5 there.
I feel good for now, but I'll be honest, I'll probably have when I come back.
I'll be here.
Great.
I just find it interesting. Well, it's a good bit of business.
Valentine just thinks back on when we were in the abyss and someone had to take a shot to break us out of this jail before
Someone had to take a shot, yeah.
Before these ghosts killed us.
Oh, I was getting so mad at you. Thought you'd kill yourself.
Yeah, me too. Well, actually, no, I felt confident. And then when you started screaming at me, I felt less confident.
33, 43, 48, 88, 93. This guy just made almost 10 grand.
Or an easy mark.
Yeah.
We have glowing armor, fucking magical beasties.
Yeah. He and to Mary's passive insight, these prices were what he believed to be fair for the family price. That's kind.
We haven't done a shop in honestly 40 episodes by the time this comes out, probably.
And in truth, if you guys wanted to, we don't have to do it on camera next time, but if you want to stock up on other just stuff, let's do that now and just knock it out. Like, think of anything that you want to, potions and fucking
potions,
rations and shit like that.
Potions, rations. I have a good amount of +1 arrows still.
You know what? Actually, the potions might be better. It's just going to be, there's a lot of option there.
I mean, literally just like healing potions. What do we have for healing potions? Like, I think that's mostly...
I take it back. We'll do that in the next game.
Okay.
That's good.
Because there's still like plenty of other places you could go, but for just
big
like,
city
stuff. Yeah, big city, like big metropolis, has kind of got lots of stuff. But as you guys kind of wrap up the business deal here with Rabbit and Jinx, 10 grand in the hole, but soon to find a couple of cool new little items that you can use on your adventures, and potentially some cool tattoos to come, and some information. We will go to dinner shortly thereafter with the royal family of Arendelle. A far cry from battling the Revenant Vow to the death. Next time.
Hey.
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited for that dinner. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
What a fun and wholesome episode after literally like battling hell for 4 episodes.
This is so fun. I love this kind of shit. It was so cool, like going back in our old stomping grounds, just seeing old people, old city. It's nuts.
I'm gonna pick up the queen at that dinner.
Listen, pal, your competition's this one. She's going after the king. You two are getting eerily similar, and it's getting scary.
If you find out that the Delarians are swingers, and both Hondo and Lav get to just
look out.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time as the Wildcards continue their brief reprieve from adventure, enjoying dinner with the Arendelle royalty, and assessing potential new arcane advisors and headmasters to the College of Whitethorn. There'll be a new episode up every Tuesday, so stay tuned, and until then, keep exploring.